Hello and welcome to Hint Plays Tabletop. This week we are continuing with part 2 of Stone Cold Lies, scenario for The Witcher TRPG by Artausorian Games, written by yours truly. So, should you buy Book of Tales? That's from this. No, this is from that. With me today are, she says, remembering to unmute people, Monty,
Hello.
Spud.
Hello!
Fish is here in audio only because his internet comes from 1997.
Good evening.
Peyton Helix.
There.
Nightbites.
Hello.
Ironically cosplaying as a dwarf. With that beard. A huge beard. But not actually playing one. And Chrono Magistrate.
Hello.
The party, as such as it is, has acquired a letter, well, specifically Auburn has, inviting them or begging them, but in a to whom it may concern kind of way, to come to Mount Carbon, which is where they were going anyway, to solve a mystery where a mysterious lady feels a miscarriage of justice is in progress. Mount Carbon is to be the site of a once every 25 years ale festival, which is indeed multiple days of drinking as much really good beer as, well, I'd say humanly possible, but as dwarvenly possible. Normally, non-dwarves do not get to enter Mount Carbon. It is verboten. All trade happens at the border. It's a big deal. So, since nobody's getting into or out of Mount Carbon until this mystery is solved, it's in their interests, if they actually want to taste anything alcoholic, to go along and sort this problem out. The crew from the Toss Coin have been joined by a doctor by the name of Cadwell, who, although he is Nilfgaardian, it does seem to be a decent sort, or at least decently into ale. So a lot has been forgiven on this journey.
We're not holding it against him yet.
Yet, no. Absolutely.
Nonsense. He's like a brother to us.
Yes.
Brothers in bottles. So, you have scaled the mountain and incidentally rescued a quartet of wagoneers who were being attacked by bandits who were trying to steal
Nice
their
little fight
cargo.
that was.
Was a little fight.
Thirsty work though. Can't help noticing you've you've got plenty there, haven't you? Maybe spare a little, like?
You could theoretically suck it up off the snow like little lollies.
slushy.
Yeah. Stick a twig in it, call it a lolly. I don't know. It's
Mead slushy.
mead
There's
slushy,
a-
yes. Mead slushy, that's an NPC name for Strontium Dog.
Quite possibly.
That works. Pardon me. So, you have just used the letter from one Enid Harkus, or actually Enid Harkus, who is the person who invited you here, to get past the border guards, across the bridge, which is known as the Long Bridge, because it's a long bridge.
Very imaginative, those
Yes.
those dwarfs.
Yes, at one end there is an old cart manufacturing plant at the end of Longbridge, and sorry, that's a working class manufacturing joke for the UK. So, oh, pained grins. We do love
As soon as
pained
you said
grins.
the cart manufacturing plant,
Yeah.
I knew what was happening.
Yeah. And at the far end is a significant door with a large number of guards. Queuing up all the way along the Long Bridge are carters, caterers, attendees, wannabe attendees, some of whom have set up tents, some of whom are trying to sell their wares to other attendees who are all stuck in this queue. And the mood is tense. Everybody's stuck, nobody can get where they're going, and the customs post is closed. So, I make no comments about Dover whatsoever. Would I? Okay. That's not the right section. That is the right section. Ah! Hang on. Sorry,
Molly
it's
Ed has
okay.
subscribed for 11 months in a
Oh,
row.
good lord.
Ooh.
Woohoo.
Molly. Molly's out of control.
Oh, good grief. Okay. You find yourselves in a large, high courtyard beyond the door. Well, beyond the gate, to be honest. It's double gate with dwarven scale door in it, so as to not have to open and risk people forcing their way in. It's filled with crates, barrels, and people. Guards are poking through boxes, seemingly at random, watched by their nervous owners. The gates behind them are massive stone edifices with inset dwarf-scale doors, as I have just said. The guards grab a young dwarf, seemingly at random, mutter a few words, and send him off at a run. Shortly after the boy leaves, a stocky dwarf with a grey-streaked black beard strides into the courtyard, flinging the inner door open, flanked by two younger dwarves. He marches up to the guards and begins demanding to know when the gates will open once more. From the slump in the guard's posture, it's clear this is not the first time they've had this conversation. He harangues them, making his feelings clear that while the lockdown continues, it can only be bad for the community by losing them trading opportunities.
Subtle.
Oh, drop.
Drop may have been in a bad mood when she was writing this scenario. So, guys, what are you doing? You basically are faced with a load of border guards. The people who let you through the door have sent a kid off with a message. You're not quite sure who to. You're standing there clutching your little scroll, which has got you in. And this dude with the grey-black beard is haranguing, frankly, the guard post, and they've got this, oh, for God's sake, expression. What you doing, kids?
I'm looking around to see if anybody's got any beer.
There
Well,
are
of any kind,
kegs.
really.
There are kegs, but nothing is being broached, and there are no open barrels, and nobody's drinking. There is a water
Wow.
barrel.
Look at these barrels.
That, not
Just
really.
out of interest.
Looking at the barrels,
Yeah.
They're-
Are they the sort of the big ones like on the cart that we helped on the way in? Or are they more sort of regular sized barrels and more of them?
there are some of all of the above. There are carts without animal teams, which have obviously basically been put in and parked, where there are huge tons on the back. There are stacks of average size barrels. There are a couple of smaller ones, small kegs, perhaps 50 centimetres high. But everything is stacked in apparent order, and quite a lot of the cargo has very bored-looking people, all races, sat with their particular possessions. Obviously, everybody is waiting for something. You can see the remains of food strewn in the corners in little piles. You get the feeling they've been here a while.
Well, Blake is going to pick the nearest wagon with a decent sized barrel and approach the wagoners.
Okay.
Loic wants to, while we are waiting for our whoever we are, supposedly, we are hopefully going to get seen into the mountain proper with. But I'll take a step or two closer to the guard being harangued and see if I can overhear what exactly the grey, black-bearded dwarf.
Okay.
is,
To be honest, it's not that much of a challenge
Mhm.
because he's maybe a human perception check.
human perception.
Give you that.
But he's not a human, he's a dwarf.
Oh, do they have a dwarven perception?
It's
I'm a
really
human.
weird that they did name that role human perception in a game with multiple non-human races.
Oh,
It is
It's
really
already-
weird.
It's for ease of communication.
It
It's
Just
is.
say empathy. Just
No, that's
call it empathy.
empathy's a stat.
chill.
Yeah, it's almost as if human
No!
perception was what it was called in other interlock system games, and they just added
Yeah.
it across
Oh
the board.
wow, I forgot. Sorry, this is the game I have a high empathy. 31.
Wow. Okay.
Loic,
Although
Loic, what do you see?
although he is shouting at one of the guards,
Mhm.
he is clearly declaiming to as many people around as will hear him out. And the two younger dwarves either side of him, we're not talking kids. You've not got a wild amount of contact with dwarves for comparison purposes, but if you had to place them as human ages, you'd be looking at probably late teens, early 20s. That sort of thing. And they're standing there like this, flanking him.
Yep. So
They look.
young, brash.
Are they intending to look intimidating at all?
Yeah.
Because if so, I will basically do the same, stood beside Chrono.
They look like they are very much trying to intimidate and lend their strength to this gentleman.
Then I shall definitely stand there beside Loic
Yeah.
and lend my shadow to whatever he's about to say.
Yeah, Loic, basically, yes, what he is doing is he is saying that the leadership is costing trade, that they're ruining the festival, that this is nothing to do with outsiders, so how very dare the festival be delayed for such a minor matter when we've caught the culprits. And he kind of riffs that on a repeat. He's not repeating his words, but the sentiment just keeps rolling on. At no point is he going into full-on Hitler shouting. However, he's sea lioning them.
Yeah.
He's not giving them a chance to respond. He obviously doesn't want them to respond. You're getting that because 31 is just okay. So I will leave that there. And fish.
No indication of what has actually happened.
No.
That
No, he's not
Right.
interested in giving anyone details.
yeah, so we're still in the dark as to what has
Yeah.
actually happened and
Yeah.
why.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
But obviously.
Without that, there's no point in trying to intercede.
Okay. Right. So fish. You were heading
Right, yes,
over.
who-
Right.
Yeah, who am I
there-
approaching? Who
Right.
are these
Okay.
Wagoneers?
You have a choice. There are. I'm assuming you're avoiding the tons, which are the huge
Yeah.
ones.
Probably. Probably.
There are, and I'm assuming also you're avoiding the kegs, the small kegs, which would look to have weapons grade alcohol in.
Yes.
So
I mean,
just
I'd love one of those personally, but
Yeah.
they're no good for his plan.
okay. So yes, approaching one of the normal-sized stacks of beer, which is next to a cart, where obviously it was unloaded more in optimism than anything else. You have two slightly peeved-looking humans. One is sitting on his barrel, and the other one is munching on a sandwich.
Do they look like they might be the owners of the barrel or just its deliverers?
There's one who is quite grizzled. The other looks to be late. The one who's sitting on the barrel only looks to be like 14, 15. At a guess, you'd say that this was probably the owner. There is a strong resemblance. Are you approaching
Hello,
them?
boys. Been here long?
2 days and counting.
Oh dear. No sign of them opening up then?
No, apparently there's some kind of internal problem. But they say they'll let us through as soon as they
So-
can. But we've just got to
So
hurry
we
up
could
and
be
wait.
waiting a while then.
Yeah. Well, at least we're undercover here. I mean, we could be stuck out on the bridge. It's bloody freezing there. Apparently
You
that's
know
an
what, though?
Adurnian accent, by the way.
You know what though?
Yeah? What?
There's a lot of thirsty people here. I mean, I know they're all waiting to get into a festival where they're going to drink, but everybody wants to start early, don't they? And I reckon you could charge a premium if you just broached that now.
You and me both, mate. I suggested it might be an idea. I thought it would help calm things down. But apparently, it's no boozing until they open the gates. It was just wrong. They've even got the bloody dwarves on
Right.
water.
Stay there a moment. I'm now approaching the guards on the gate.
Okay.
Loic moves.
Interior or exterior?
The guards that are stopping us getting in.
Okay, so the interior ones. The dark head dwarf who has been shouting looks you up and down, snorts, and then storms back in through the gate, in through the dwarf-sized door. They don't stop him or his friends.
Right, boys, what's going on here then? Why are we all standing around?
Well, can't let you in yet. You're the ones came with the letter, yeah? Hang on. Hang on, it's Mahakam. It's bloody Yorkshire. Right, hang on a minute. There we go. It's Yorkshire dwarves.
Locus followed Blake,
Back
seeing
with the
that
accent
as he was
now.
going to be approaching the guards as well.
Yeah.
Yes, that's right. We are the ones who have been requested. We're just waiting on
It's all
the
right.
good lady.
It's okay. We've sent a runner. He shouldn't be too long. She's not hard to find. They look harassed. They have just been putting up with this guy shouting at them. Right.
I offer a few words of, thank you for your stalwart duty here. I know it can't be easy.
How long is too long?
As a merchant myself, I understand putting up with harassed customers is difficult.
Yeah. Well, we have to do what we have to do. Sorry, Fish. What were you saying?
How long is too long?
I think
You said they shouldn't be too long. How long is that?
Cadfael takes this opportunity to interject and say, "Come now, my good man. A little patience. They'll get here when they get here."
Orban is standing behind
No, that-
everyone else, just sort of looking around the leg.
Nell is also hanging back, and
I do tend to. I doubt that they are deliberately keeping us from our assignation.
Get it when they get it. It's not going to be good enough, is it?
Maybe not.
I
Maybe
need
not.
some answers here. Come on.
The
When are you
door-
going to let us in?
The door behind the guard opens, and the boy who was sent comes in with a female dwarf with a long plaited blonde beard. Blue beard? No,
Blue beard!
No.
Excellent, you could dye it!
no.
The pirate?
Blonde beard, blue eyes,
Oh, it's
and a
Blackbeard.
strained expression. That map should not be there yet. That one, however, should. Oi, come here. Fantasy
Yes.
Grounds? No. Fantasy Grounds,
Again,
what are you doing?
Cadfael turns again to Blake. Is that good enough for you? They're here now.
Okay. And that's not
The passive
down
aggression begins.
To, it's not down to Blake. It's just that certain things had to happen first. So let me
course.
just share that to you.
that is oh, never mind. Now it showed up.
Okay, got it.
It's a very pretty dwarf.
Yes.
Yeah. She looks at you, and hello. I understand you're here to help me. My name is Enid Harkness.
We received your letter and your plea.
Sticking his head round the side and going, yeah, we got a letter.
We have journeyed up to see how we may be of help.
That's excellent. That really is excellent. Wonderful. Let me take you inside. Sorry, Enid, and you are
Loic of Craden.
excellent. That's north, isn't it?
Yes, very, very much north.
Good. Right. And you points at Auburn, who is hiding behind people.
Auburn Madras at your service, ma'am.
Lovely to see you. And you, hang on. Let me just get this right for Blake. She comes up to roughly your hip, I think. If I recall, Blake is tall.
I honestly can't remember how tall Blake is, and I don't think it's on the Fantasy Grounds character sheet.
No, I just have
I
an
think
image.
I remember him being
It's
tall.
probably on my original text file, but not in
Yeah, I have an image of Blake being tall in my head.
Same.
I mean, he's a big lad, yes.
Yeah.
Body 8.
Oh, God, yeah. Okay. You're not kidding, are you?
Reason he's good at throwing people out of windows.
Oh, Christ, you're on the
Yes.
mountain.
Yes, he is. He is the great defenestrator.
Yes. And you are, sir?
Let me just clarify something, right? There's no drinking nonsense. Now, is
Yes?
that no drinking outside or no drinking till the festival?
Well, there's no drinking outside. I gather they don't want anyone having fights, getting drunk and having fights out here. It's dangerous. There's
Well,
quite a big drop outside.
I don't know whether this holds true for dwarfs, but for everyone else, you might notice that the best way to make sure people do have a fight is to not let them drink.
You think? I
I'm
haven't had
absolutely
much.
bloody positive.
I haven't had that much contact, unfortunately, with the other races. I've only met people. So yeah, if you think so, I'm sure that nobody wants to have a
In
fight.
moderation, obviously, but
I feel the guards are probably not suitably equipped here to deal with moderation should it get out of hand. However, that is by the by, dear Blake. Our man-at-arms is a man of singular purpose.
Oh, I totally understand. I am very glad. I'm awfully glad that you've decided to come and help. It's a horrible, horrible situation. Oh, sorry, I didn't see you. You're not the same as them, are you? You have an accent. You're Nilfgaardian, yes?
I assume she's talking to Cadfael.
Yes, she is.
With a flourish and taking off his cap and a bow, he says, "Quite right, my lady. Cadfael var Elised of Nilfgaard, physician and private investigator at your service."
Oh, excellent. Oh, that's wonderful.
Of the treasure, and my dear friend, companion, Nell.
Hello. Nell is quite likes not being seen, so she was not minding. But
You're all hiding behind Blake.
If there is
48,
somewhere
most
that
people can hide behind Blake.
And possibly the only one that couldn't would be me,
Oh, good point.
with a body of 8.
Oh, and you are, sir?
Out of here. Friend of this lot.
Oh,
Is there somewhere that we might go and discuss matters? I
What if you can reach
Absolutely.
that situation?
absolutely.
I feel time might be of the essence here.
Yes, absolutely, yes. This needs to be resolved as soon as possible. I don't want to see innocent people killed. But more importantly, I need to find out who is responsible, because I think this has all been wrapped up too quickly and too cleanly, and I'm not having it.
Let's
Enid-
proceed inwards. This is not a
Enid-
conversation for here, I doubt.
No, absolutely. Absolutely. Enid keeps up a running commentary as she leads you into the depths of Mount Carbon. You head through...
The moment she said that thing about it's all been wrapped up too cleanly and she's not having it, Blake narrowed his eyes and is sort of glaring at the back of her head from that point onwards.
Why?
You get an awful crane in your neck looking down then,
This
mate.
is entirely your fault, Brett. You let me bring an alcoholic character into this scenario, then denied me beer. I have to start making will rolls soon.
Okay. Enid keeps up a running commentary as she leads you into the depths of Mount Carbon. You head through smoothly worked corridors and tunnels packed with dwarves, putting up decorations, setting up tables, and pushing hand wagons filled with barrels, tankards, and all the accoutrements a lively and vital crowd might need to get blind blazing drunk. Fish, you can, if you wish, snag an occasional tankard because some of the barrels are open.
In that
People
case,
are
I shall
dipping
grab a tank.
samples.
That's me happy then, yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
It's all right.
We do need our man at arms at least functional.
Yeah, it's okay. I had your back. It's good. It's fine. Don't panic.
-5 to everything if I fail a will roll off.
Yeah.
We need to put the
You don't
functional
want him
in.
with the DTs.
We need to put the functional in functional alcoholic.
Exactly.
Indeed.
She chatters, nervous tones to her voice. I'm putting my faith in your hands, new friends. I trust the judgment of those who sent you to me that you will not disappoint me. The fact is I cannot rely upon the attention and goodwill of those whom I would normally trust, and the stay I've arranged, though through great pains, cannot last forever. I'll introduce you to Supergirl. Eventually, we will have to have the festival, and when the festival happens, there will be no chance at investigating because everything will be too busy, too many people, too many outsiders, too many foreigners, too many everybodies, too many people. I'll introduce you to Supervisor Sigurd Flett. He's accepted jurisdiction in this matter, but I fear he's too preoccupied to grant the investigation more than cursory attention. Up with this, I will not put. If you prove that the received wisdom's correct, then I shall trust the conclusions of those with nothing to gain by lying. Yourselves. If, however, your conclusions run elsewise, then I demand to know who's responsible and to see them brought to true justice.
Ma'am, can I ask what actually happened?
Yes.
Did you know that you have just literally fulfilled the next paragraph?
Hey.
Excellent.
The next paragraph reading, at some stage, the players might
Yeah.
want to know what they're here for and what Enid needs them to do.
Yeah. Pretty much.
Yeah, Loic was trying to get a word in edgeways, but he's also
Yeah.
done that polite thing of.
I had already asked for the briefing. I was just waiting
Yeah.
for it to
Yeah.
come around to the bit that I was actually interested in.
If I might add Cadfile's after comment to that as well, because I feel like he would be very invested in doing his job here. Because
Okay.
Indeed, I understand this is very important and personal to you, but as my friend suggests, a little clarification on what it is we are to do would not go amiss.
No, I understand. I totally understand. It's fine. I'm sorry. She stops and leans against a table. This has been incredibly stressful. It's been an incredibly trying time. Sorry.
In these trying times.
Okay. Just over a week ago, there was a cave-in. It's a monument in the Mount called Cursiter's Cavern. It's one of the stops on the circuit for the ceremony of toasting the fallen. It's a monument to a former shift leader who died defending his crew against monsters from below. Those who went to investigate the cave-in, they discovered a pair of foreigners at the entrance. One was partially buried and the other one was badly injured. And next to the buried one, they found the hammer that is the focus of the monument. Normally stands proud on there, and that is the shift leader's hammer from centuries ago. But near the monument, as they started clearing, they found the body of my brother Rendell, buried under the rockfall. Now the
Sorry about your
elders
brother.
have rushed to declare it a theft and a murder, saying the thieves clearly triggered the rockfall by some incompetence, which I could sort of believe, but it seems unlikely, while making off with their loot. They have given me some vague guff about Rendell catching them in the act, or that he was complicit in the theft, and her eyes absolutely flash at that. She is clearly not having that. No role needed. And I have appealed to Chief Elder Bruverhoog, and he has enacted a lockdown on the mountain to look for the breach in security, because they shouldn't have been able to gain access, these foreigners. But I am unconvinced that my brother would have been involved, and something just does not ring true to me about the way my brother died, or the convenient cave-in that nearly killed these alleged thieves.
How long ago did this happen?
Sorry?
How long ago did this happen?
About a week. Just
So
over a week,
everything's been moved already. There's nothing we can do to look at the scene.
The scene is still being made safe. There was a considerable amount of damage. The cave will need to be cleared. I gather it's nearly cleared. There are workers still in there, making the roof safe and ensuring that the toasting can carry on without risk of any further falls. I can check for that, but to see when you can gain access to it.
What about the bodies of the dead?
Helpful.
Please, the body of the dead. I can show you where my brother is. I can show you my brother. I have asked that his body be stored, but again, his funeral must take place soon, according to our customs.
Of course.
And the foreigners have been imprisoned.
Yes, I was going to ask about the foreigners. I assume by that you mean a non-dwarf or non-gnome individual. Perhaps you could shed some light on what race they are?
Yes, one's a werebub and the other's a Vran.
Very, very yes, unusual.
To most of you, I might as well have just said that one's a Yeti and the other one's a sea serpent. You know they real, but as far as you're concerned, you probably never met one. The only person who might have is Blake, because he's Kedweni. And
it's because he's Kedweni rather than just because he's a mercenary and has travelled around.
Yeah, it's because some of them were driven into the mountains, and some of them were driven into the mountains bordering Kedwen. There are mountain ranges running up the centre of the continent, effectively, and after pogroms drove out many of the more extremely non-human races, as opposed to the elves.
The pogroms are vicious. Someone needs to do something about them. Call a witcher on them. Nasty creatures.
Yes. They are. By the way, that's the term used in the novels, so I'm not appropriating anything. It's just, it means what it means.
Yep.
So yeah, some of them retreated to the mountains, and that's where Blake may well have encountered maybe one or two. More likely to have encountered werebubs, who are the beaver people.
Yes, the artwork from the book is just so adorable.
It is. It really is. I love it. I'm so happy with it.
I forget what my skill actually does.
Yes, yes.
Look how they drive them up. Look at their little faces.
They are real cute.
Yes, let's see.
Let's bring that up now then. I was going to wait until you actually spoke to them, but what the hell.
No, give us the cute. Look at that. Look at that
Yeah.
baby.
Oh.
Put some shoes on. You're gonna get your feetsies cold.
Well, they've got fur on their feet. They'll be fine.
You don't have fur on the underside of your feet unless you're like a polar bear.
Tobies.
Yeah, no,
Tobies look cold.
Yes. I took one look at that and just thought Redwall.
They are a bit, yeah. They are a little bit. They're about the
That's not a
size of
bad thing,
dwarves.
though.
No, they're about
Yeah,
the
so
size of dwarves.
Nice.
But they're about 90% fur. God knows what they'd look like soaking wet. They're probably about that wide.
Yes,
It's
and
like
I'd say,
getting a cat
think-
wet.
I know what they'd look like. They'd look angry at whoever did that to them.
Yeah, probably.
Good point.
Anyway,
Well made.
I think Calify will then say, you mentioned Supervisor Sigurd Flett.
Yes.
Perhaps we should meet with him.
Yes, absolutely. Yes. You'll need his.
If nothing else, yes, we will
You'll
need his
approval.
permission.
I could get you into the mountain, but I had to talk at him for quite a long time before he would agree to allow me to bring in anyone from outside.
We shall do everything we can to relay his concerns and earn his trust.
Oh, just don't annoy him. That would be ideal. Right. Okay. Would you like to make me awareness checks, please? Everybody here.
Awareness
Everybody?
checks.
Yep.
Yes.
Where's my character
Oh,
sheet?
gosh. It begins again. Shut.
Oh, for God's sake.
Why is it so slow? Come on.
Oh, Blake's just going, oh, this is good.
So for those watching, I rolled another 10 and an 8, giving me an awareness of 33.
Holy hellfire on toast.
I managed 17.
Quite aware.
Yeah, 15.
17 for Nell as well.
By the way, Blake, what you're drinking is a sample cup as opposed to a sample cup. a
good.
cup for samples, not a cup for samples.
Yes.
Of a very malty, nearly chocolatey tasting
Ooh.
beverage.
I want chocolate.
It
A good
warms
chocolate
you.
porter. Ooh.
It warms you all the way down to your toes, which is good because it was horrible outside. Inside the mountain, it is, yes, a sampling cup, not a sample cup. Yeah, inside the mountain, it is warm. You've got a lot of people in a ventilated but closed system. While the walls are cold, generally the air is quite warm. And you are still in your furs at the moment. So, those of you who made 14 or better... Oh, well done. The criminal and the man-at-arms failed. Excellent stuff. That's what we want. You notice
I
that
only
the
know
work...
one thing, where they are. I just don't know that at the moment.
No, exactly. They reveal that the workers in the corridors are paying attention to you as you pass. And only Loic notices that both you and Enid are receiving covertly hostile glances from some people.
Me specifically, yeah? Or
You
us
notice.
as a group?
You notice.
No, as in...
Oh no, sorry.
I and Edit.
No, the group as
Okay,
a
the
whole.
group,
Yeah, and Enid.
Nell would just like to pay a little bit extra attention to are people armored? How well armored are people? Are they,
Mostly they're not. Almost everybody is just in either in a gambeson or a tunic.
sorry, armed, not armored.
Oh, armed. Most
Grain.
people have a couple of knives. Clearly, one eating knife.
Yeah.
Quite broad-based daggers, however, are quite common as well. The guards who are circulating in the crowd are armed with a combination of small hand axes and also battle hammers.
Is there anything that like sticks out to her as a smith, or is it just like looks like ordinary stuff?
It is ordinary, but it's ordinary for Mahakam,
Yeah.
which means that to anyone else, that's class work.
Mhm.
Some of the better dressed dwarves, ones who are in sort of longer coats rather than in tunics, are carrying knives which you can recognize as dark steel, which is a difficult to make alloy, which burnishes black, and the best in the world, as far as you know, comes from Mahakam. So some of them have dark steel daggers, which are significant indicators of wealth, or would be anywhere else. For all you know, they had them made by the family Smiths. Okay.
Might have even been made by the smith in training as he learned to work the stuff.
Exactly, yeah. Dwarves, of course, have the centuried lifespans. Probably don't live as long as elves, but it's hard for anyone to get an idea on how long elves live because so few of them live to natural deaths. You know, natural hazards tend to carry them off first. You know, being burned at the stake, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Ah,
Yeah,
yes, the
the
most
Scottish
natural of
have-
hazards.
Fun times all around.
It is a natural hazard. I mean, if you're burned at the stake, naturally you're going to die.
Yep, generally speaking.
What was that quote from Weird Sisters? Is it falling down a flight of stairs with a bad dagger in your back is an incurable disease caused by unwise opening of the mouth?
Yeah. I'm with, I think it's Heinlein who said, in the final analysis, all forms of death come down to heart failure.
Well, then when you want to get to it, you get down to it then. It's all forms of death are caused by lack of oxygen to the brain.
Okay, at the end of the network of corridors, there is a massive set of double doors, easily 4 meters high. These stand open, and you can pass into the Great Hall. Now, did I do the Great Hall? Please, I did, I think. Sorry, I figured that since they've done the artwork,
Might as well show it off.
I might as well show it off.
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely.
We have been walking. Nell will have just like walked a little bit closer to Loic to just like ask, so what do you make of it?
I think we've got a tricky task ahead of us, sir.
There are layers. There are many layers to this apparent crime. We must peel them away and glean the truth within.
Assuming that there are layers. It could be as simple as they make out to be, but somehow I doubt it. We're also dealing with folks I have never encountered before. The names are familiar. I know nothing about Werebub or Vran.
All right.
Nobody
As
does.
as we're walking, or if we get a chance, like if there's a pause between what she has just said and us reaching the door,
Yeah.
I will ask her about Rendell.
Rendell.
Rendell,
Rendell.
sorry, yes. I ask her to tell us about her brother. What sort of a dwarf was he?
Conscientious. He was my little brother. I mean, he volunteered as a guard. He came back from his year away, keen to do his duty. He was no great craftsman, but he was exceptional with an axe. And as I said, he was just very, very conscientious, and I mean, I always wanted to protect him, but he didn't need it. He really didn't. He did his duty, and he cared about the family and the mountain.
What is your And your family's position here?
Well, if you go back several generations, our clan did contribute many of the elders. So this is the only reason, to be honest with you, that I have been able to arrange this stay of execution, and hope to garner my own investigation. It's because, my family is respected. Uh, we've always served the community. It just makes sense, Our clan her clan has always done its duty, and we have contributed traders, and we have contributed some great smiths in the Hall of Heroes. So yeah, it's. I wouldn't say, we're ruling class or anything. That I understand this may be difficult for you, but that's not how it works here. We don't do nobility.
I was more curious as to the weight you pull in calling everything to a halt to extend the investigation when someone's already made an analysis and a result, and how much that buys you, and how much you've traded for it.
To be honest with you, I was annoying. Sigurd was a friend of my grandfather's, and was apprenticed to him for a while. So I grew up with him as an uncle, although we are different clans, but we're both from within the mountain. So, I grew up with him, so I was able to appeal to him directly, and I think he was then able to influence Elder Hoog, Chief Elder Hoog, and I think, to be honest, Hoog would like very much for me to be quiet and go away. And no, that's not happening.
Understood. Thank you.
You said that when things came to light following the clearing, people said either your brother caught them in the act or may have suggested that he had collaborated. Was there anyone in particular who was suggesting that line of thought?
Her lip twists a little in disgust. There is someone who is quite vocal in declaring that perhaps my brother was influenced by outsiders. I understand he doesn't like non-dwarfs, but I do think he is jumping to conclusions.
Does he have a name?
Yes, you may have seen him, in fact. Cooper Morrick.
Could you describe him?
She holds her hand up to a little higher than her. Quite a tall person. A very long plaited beard. Quite dark black with grey streaks.
Yes, we saw him at the gates.
He's
hanging the guards.
Yeah, he has been pushing, and some of his followers with him, to clear this case and reopen the mountain. I understand he has shipments of weapons ready to go, and he must be missing foreign gold. But he is very much in favour of sweeping this whole matter under the carpet. I am not having it.
He is a dwarf of the mountain?
Oh, absolutely. I think they hollowed his great-grandparents out of one of the lower mines. I'm not speaking ill of his bloodline or of him, but he has attitudes I do not share. Unfortunately, he speaks well, and there are some of the younger dwarves who do listen to him. especially with some of the stories we hear about what happens in the lowlands.
But he would not have personal experience of it since he would not be venturing out beyond.
He has not been out since his youth for the year. He explored, he came back, and he's declared everything is bad outside the mountain, and everyone is bad. If he could get away with it, I think he'd probably cancel the festival, but there were too many potential customers.
Mm-hmm. And you say he is a weapons trader by.
Yes. To be fair, most of our trade is in weapons. If it's not in weapons, it's in metals.
Mm.
We
You're
sell.
not trading armor at all.
We do. But of course, bear in mind that much of the armour that's forged here is forged for dwarf scale. But yes, we do supply both raw materials and components for armour, so that the other races can appreciate our craftsmanship. It goes for a premium.
Indeed.
It does.
I have been fortunate to encounter dwarven workmanship in my time as a merchant. Very
yes.
fine quality.
Yes, we tend to. My family tend to supply ingots, and we work with metallurgy. So, rather than completed items.
Understood. Maybe once all of this is over, we might be able to talk better about future business opportunities.
Oh, quite possibly. But please, I can't focus on anything at the moment.
No, of course
except
not.
this.
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Let's hope we can move to happier times as quickly as possible.
Right.
My brain is just going dwarven crafts. Find
By dwarven crafts!
Search for more Zamar. Like, no, wrong IP. Wrong IP.
Okay. So, she leads you through the doors. The smell and the noise hit you like a wave as you step across the threshold. All around you are dwarves setting up stalls, testing drinks, decanting brews. Yes, Blake, if you want, you can have another one.
Yeah, I'll grab another one now.
Yeah. And adjusting valves on copper vats mounted on wheeled platforms. The warm scent of yeast, the tartness of alcohol, and the blend of fruits and spices assail your nostrils. The workers chat, call instructions, and give opinions on their brews, loudly and at length. The central floor space is set with long tables. It's hard to say how many people could be seated here, but it must be in the thousands. Each has easy access to at least 2 ale stations and is already laden with stacks of tankards and a row of unlit candles running down the centre.
I think Catapult takes a moment and just,
So,
definitely takes your breath away.
the Great Hall of Mount Carbon. The space is designed to be as imposing and intimidating as possible.
Do we see the stall of the people we saved at all?
Not that you can see, but they were stuck on the bridge.
Yeah,
Or they would be stuck on the bridge because you got here before them.
Yes, we got special dispensation to come in. Everyone else is stuck outside the gates.
Yeah. It's designed with faceted sides, resembling the octagonal cut of a gemstone. Along each long wall stand alcoves with heavy black velvet curtains drawn back to leave them exposed. These alternate with doors, almost all firmly shut, but speaking to the hall being the hub of the mountain. Above, the arches of the vaulted ceilings meet in 3 places, artfully designed to look almost natural. Golden light flows from innumerable lamps along the walls. These can contrast starkly with the cold white light coming through deep channels set into the roof, capped flush with crystal, piercing the mountain peak to deliver sunlight into its heart. At the far end stands a dais where several older dwarves sit, apparently handing out instructions and answering questions from those setting up. There's a steady flow back and forth. So, and it's to this that you are being led. However, anyone want to do anything in the meantime? It's a big, big room.
Very much want to drink in all the sights and keep an eye out for details.
Whereas Blake just wants to drink.
There's quite a few people around a lot of alcohol in a very crowded area. There's probably quite a few rich people here not keeping an eye on their coin purses.
I'd like to
No,
point
just
out
like general
everybody that you can see are dwarves. I will just point this out.
Oh yeah, I can't do the thing where I'm at coin purse height. Damn it!
No.
Nope.
Also, although you're not a native of Mahakam, you will know, because it's common knowledge in dwarven society, that within Mahakam there is a socialistic and almost communistic bent to the community. They tend not to buy and sell between themselves. It literally is
Pinko Commie Dwarf. Right.
Pinko Commie Dwarves, yes. Everything is for the good of the community.
Barter, so it'll be barter,
Agreed, yeah.
favours, that
Yeah.
sort of thing, more than actual money.
Yeah, exactly.
Save it for when the drunk guests get in.
Exactly.
Yeah, he considers it, and then he just thinks, yeah, save it.
Yeah, no, after having seen the looks and such directed at us in the corridor, Loic is basically just on watch for like any particular group or persons who might be standing out. Like he's expecting a degree of enmity because we are both
Okay.
outsiders and holding this up.
Okay.
Because rumours will have already started to travel, and the fact that we are inside and not dwarfs
Yep.
now.
Okay.
But I'm looking for specifically anybody who stands out amongst that lot.
Right. You can certainly make me an awareness check.
Yeah. Okay.
And if anyone else is keeping their eyes open, you two can.
Yep, that was my intention.
Always.
23. That was only an 8.
This is where you just roll nothing but
Good
one.
fucking lord.
I should assume from my role that I'm paying more attention to our Kidweni friend to ensure that he doesn't imbibe too much of the local produce.
I mean,
Sorry, Blake.
His second cup.
Auburn, how are you so shit at awareness today?
Oh
You
no.
can, there are
I'm gonna
also
blame it on. I'm gonna blame it on Petal. I've decided that Petal's just being a brat,
To
I
be
had
fair,
completely
Better, right?
forgotten.
squeaking and wriggling and wanting to get out and go on walkies.
Tal, that is only a that still effectively came out as a +7.
Yeah.
I mean, yes,
Yes.
but I'm still gonna blame it on the aardvark.
Don't blame it on the sunshine. Don't blame it on the moon. Right. I will note for everybody's edification, including Blake, mainly Blake, that there are sample trays of snacks being set up at the ends of tables. Various of the brewmasters are tasting different foods to see which will pair best with what. So you can, if you wish, snag the equivalent of some crisps.
Yep,
We'll have some peanuts to go
Yeah.
with the beer.
Yeah.
they are disappearing. Snacks are disappearing into Auburn's many pockets.
Yeah, I shall definitely grab some snacks. I shall not partake of the brews, but I will grab some snacks.
There are dried fruits. There are strips of jerky of various different shades. There are indeed strange malted nuts. There are assorted, slightly sticky biscuits.
being the
I've got a mental image of just Auburn just shoving things into pockets. He's got one of those like sticky biscuits just in his mouth, just shoving things into pockets.
I can't think why his family left. I honestly can't. I've no idea.
yes, no, being the cold and and miserable southern professional that he is, Cadfael does not partake of anything until he, as far as he's concerned, he's on the job, as it were. So until he comes off the job, he's not going to partake of anything.
Yeah, Loic is not. Loic is not either. He's definitely more concentrating on surroundings and on Enid.
Okay.
Feeding the
So,
aardvark.
the best. Oh, great. Yes, you found
Slip it to the aardvark.
you found an effectively assalted toffee,
Hold on.
and are feeding it to the aardvark.
I can replicate this this scene. Hold on. I've
God.
got ignore that the aardvark is bright yellow.
Uh-huh. Yes. Fair enough.
And also a dragon.
Right.
Kind of.
Oh gosh. Okay.
But yeah, this is exactly what it looks like.
Mm-hmm. So there are also people looking at us because of that,
Yes.
right? Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The
There
one
will
who
be.
wouldn't look strange by being a dwarf manages to
Yeah.
look strange by just carrying a friggin'
Having it
aardvark.
off.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yep.
Oh, this is actually just going to keep hitting my microphone.
So, let's look down the results. So, Loic, keeping your eyes open,
Mm-hmm.
you feel something burning into the back of your neck. You feel you're being watched.
Mm-hmm.
Glancing around, you can see a mass of people and they're mingling and they're moving around. But you do catch the glimpse of a youngish dwarf who appears to be watching your group. As soon as your eyes meet, he turns and vanishes into the crowd.
Ah. See, we found the next in the long list of ill-fated love interests.
Blake, as you're sampling snacks, you can overhear as the party moves on a few paces. The people at the table, a couple of the women, are discussing the fact that they reckon that they see their friend who works with the postmaster had heard that he had been told that Enid had argued with her brother shortly before his death, and so they're not quite sure why she's so upset now and why she's making such a fuss. And all, there's no smoke without fire. But as soon as they twig that you can hear them, they shut up and look slightly distrustfully at you.
I'll smile.
And the next one back. Cadfael.
Hello.
A quite youthful dwarf with well-combed loose beard and long curling hair is staring apparently in your direction. Quite intently. Yeah, enough.
No, upon seeing
No,
this,
not enough.
I think... Upon seeing this, I
It
think
is. I'm
he
watching
will-
where it's peaking.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, Cadfael upon seeing this will basically reach up to his beret and, tip his cap in a kind of, hello there, sort of,
Make me a human perception.
okay, let's see if I'm any good at that.
I'm guessing you've got pretty high empathy as well.
Yeah.
I do, but that's
Yeah.
a bad roll, so 15.
That's a bad roll. That's only a 15. Oh, good God. Okay.
Okay.
He
We've got the
looks.
same empathy then.
He looks slightly confused,
Mm-hmm.
which is the point you realise that actually he wasn't looking at you. He was looking at something just over your shoulder.
And turn.
Turning, there is a girl polishing in tankards, who is quite highly coloured on her cheeks, and is rocking a very, very curly black beard that has been plaited neatly and links around to curls on her head. As she sees you, she ducks her head and refuses to make eye contact.
Yes. Upon realizing that he is actually been caught in the line of sight of a young dwarf trying to, fawning over a young lady, he will look back and he will kind of wave apologetically, just say sorry, and he will keep moving.
Yep. There's a lot of red faces going on.
Yep. That's just the way things go.
Yeah. Okay, so you can follow through. If I had all ambient sound going, it would be a convention in setup mode.
God.
With occasional, this dwarf is reversing. Beep, beep, beep. Sorry. Enid strides up to the dais with you all in tow and performs introductions, but then steps aside to allow you to converse. She introduces you as, this is Sigurd Flett. He's a dwarf of, Auburn can tell, middle age. The rest of you, it depends how much contact you've had with dwarves. With a beard neatly braided and close-cropped mahogany brown hair. Up close, you can see he has scars all over his face, and his left knee has a metal brace strapped around it, immobilising the joint.
He's a veteran of many fights.
He's currently sitting behind a table and has a heavy stick leaning up against it. So, you're the ones Enid's found to help.
That's us.
Yes, that's
Indeed. We shall endeavour to see what we can do.
He doesn't look thrilled, nor does he look wildly impressed by the look. And he also can't work out what the squeaking is until he looks at Auburn. And somehow manages to look Auburn up and down and dismiss him completely.
Auburn's used to that.
Yep.
Especially amongst dwarves, to be honest. He's a dwarf who can't grow a particularly good beard, so...
Yes.
We certainly do appreciate the seriousness of the situation and the severity of the case here and the need for it to be dealt with immediately.
As you're talking to him throughout this entire conversation,
I'm trying to be as
people
charming
are-
as I can.
Yeah.
Anil might not be, but Loic is.
yeah, as you're talking through to Sigurd, he is approached by people wanting him to sign bits of paper, passing him items, asking him quick questions, that sort of thing, and he's fielding those and then coming straight back to you. There are other elders around, all of whom look older than him, who again are fielding different questions, different peoples. Some of them are checking weapons, some of them are giving advice, but basically this dais appears to be the organisational hub. You do not see anyone who you could guess is Bruvahug, who is the chief elder of Mahakam.
No, we don't see anyone looking particularly elderly.
No, particularly elderly and particularly terrifying and angry. From what anyone has heard, scary and angry is his basic métier.
Yes.
Obviously, there are a number of lines that we will need to follow. Is there some way that we can get a pass or dispensations to let people know that we are undertaking this job on your behalf?
Yeah, absolutely.
To allow for ease of movement.
Absolutely. And it's told you what happened. Yes, we
have been apprised.
We've got the thieves under guard. Alleged thieves. We've got the thieves under guard. Their trial's expected afterwards, after the festival. Well, before the festival, really, and then the execution should be shortly thereafter.
I don't think you quite know what a trial's for, do you?
Well, with nobody else in the frame, who else are we supposed to try?
Well, that is
Are you even sure there's been a
predetermined.
crime committed? Because the description we got, it wasn't very clear.
Well, unless a hammer, a ceremonial hammer, can magically fly from its mounting point on a monument all the way across a cavern to miraculously land right next to a thief, sorry, a foreigner who happens to have a cave wall on them, I think there's a crime been committed. But we got the hammer back,
Seems to
and
me-
it's in the hands of an expert right now to be
Seems to me you've got
checked for
4
damage.
questions need answering here,
Yeah.
and you haven't answered any of them yet. You haven't even asked them, as far as I can tell.
You
Can I
sound just
confirm?
like her.
Can I confirm what the current charges against the apprehended foreigners are?
Well, theft, desecration, and probable murder.
Probable.
In deference to Enid, I've gone without corruption of the community. She
You know,
snorts.
I don't like the idea of letting Enid back down, but I'm thinking it's in our best interests just to forego the festival and leave now.
Please, nobody else is going to help.
You may feel that way, Sir Blake, but I believe I have a professional obligation, having given my word I would do this. I will investigate, and if everything as it is suspected to be, then so be it. If there is more to be discovered, then I shall discover it.
Precisely. If you can come up with an alternative view of the crime, of the situation, I will be very, very happy.
Well, I mean, based on your reaction so far, if somebody sneezes near me, you're likely to lock me up as a plague carrier.
Yes, I feel that perhaps this line of thinking may not allow us to progress in our own endeavours, Sir Blake. Perhaps we should endeavour to work with what we have rather than wish for what we do not have.
I can get you permission to talk to the thieves, to talk to the captives. He rolls his eyes and looks at Enid.
Well,
To look at the
I
body.
think it's fine to call them prisoners. Mm-hmm.
To look at the scene of the crime. I will check if that's safe yet. I don't know if they're finished. But when it is, I'll get them to send word. And I don't know. Will you need to look at the item in question?
Yes.
Almost certainly, yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay.
There's
Yeah.
not almost about it. Yes, please.
Yeah. I'll let him know that you'll be seeing.
I do wonder
Um,
if I could lean possibly on our Nilfgaardian friend for a confirmation. It might be easier for us if we can see the scene of the crime before any further work is completed.
that would be preferable. There is also one other thing that our good friend Blake has potentially alluded to, and that is if our investigations do lead to an outcome that let's see doesn't paint certain members of the leadership or such in a good light, is that going to be a significant problem for us?
If someone's been acting against the community, I don't care who they bloody are.
Good. That is very good to know.
I will check if the cave's safe. I can't promise anything yet, but I'll get them to finish making it safe, but not to finish clearing yet. But it will need to be cleared in the next day or so. Enid, could you give them the tour and take them where they need to go? See what they need to see. Of course. I'm sorry, I'm very busy.
No, of course, it's perfectly understandable.
We thank you. We thank you for your time. Actually, I say in Dwarven, we thank you for your time and your patience in this matter.
He responds in kind. It's good to see a cultured man. You get the feeling that was a capital M. They are more sympathetically inclined towards Cadfael overall, because Nilfgaard and non-humans have a better relationship overall.
Yes,
Yeah.
Nilfgaard is all about that equal opportunities fascism.
Oh yeah, absolutely, yeah, exactly. Everybody has the right to be enslaved to exactly the same degree.
Yeah.
Evenly, yeah.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, yes, and I did, just because I felt by the way that Cadfael's conducted himself, I wanted to try and make a social etiquette roll to see if to convey that mechanically.
Yeah,
So,
not a problem. Yeah, you are
managed to get the
bowing
exact
to the right
same-
stand.
Just got the exact same roll as before. It's a 50.
Yes.
Oh.
Blake will not say anything until we've walked away from this gentle dwarf. But once we have walked away, he will say, "You know what? I don't believe him. I think he cares very much who's behind this. And I think if it's the wrong person, he's not going to listen to a word we say."
Can I make a human perception check to see if that's the feeling I get from him as well?
Yes. Actually, make a deduction.
A deduction. Okay.
Yeah.
It's a good point, actually.
Would that be for all of us hearing that comment, or just...
Yeah,
That's
can if you
only a
like. Yep.
13.
I know what the difficulty is.
That's only a 13 on
Okay.
deduction.
I need to explode to get anything decent.
Okay, Cadfael.
I did not explode.
I am a detective.
Yeah.
16.
Yeah, I'm relying on my high intelligence for
No,
deduction.
Okay, is Auburn attempting this?
Yes, but he has literally a 0 in it.
Okay.
Oh, look at his attempt.
Oh, that's a decent roll.
Right. Okay. So unfortunately, Loic didn't.
Mm.
And
I'd
everybody
be
else
better
did.
on perception, but yeah.
Everybody else did. Judging by the reactions, the way he has been speaking to Enid, and as you left the table, he does say, if you come up with nothing new, the mountains will be reopened, and you'll have to abide by that, Enid. You get the feeling he's as happy to see the current accused go down, but he is interested in justice. But he's not necessarily going to dig too deeply. At the moment, he's got some convenient non-humans, as a non-dwarves he can pin things on.
Well, you could be right. You could very well be right there, Blake. But we should probably try, at least.
He certainly seems very well disposed towards Enid. So he seems to be quite fussed about her.
And then pats Blake on the shoulder. Look at it this way: if we do well here, this could be a great opportunity for all of us. Who knows? You could even get free drinks.
Yes, you can make it as far as the
them
festival.
back at home. I could have stayed there.
That chocolate thing is very nice, though. Okay. Right.
It was a fair assumption to make, and I like your what's the northern word?
Skepticism.
Yes, skepticism for what is placed in front of you. That is a very good instinct in an investigator, my good man.
Very tiring for a GM, though.
I mean, you've been role playing with Fishy for how long now?
quite a long time.
Just think yourself lucky I'm playing Blake, not Hamus.
Oh
You'd have had
God.
it thrown out by now.
Yeah, Hamus would not be.
Uh,
Mm-hmm.
so Enid can be your guide.
Mhm.
She will say that she insists upon being present for examining Rendell's body.
Yeah, mhm.
But
That's fine.
for anything else, she can show you where you need to be,
If
will
the
not necessarily
if the cave
stay.
isn't safe yet, then we'll probably look at the body first and then go to the cave.
Yeah,
But we definitely need to see the cave before we talk to the prisoners. So.
you reckon? Okay.
Once we're out of earshot of the chap we were just talking to,
Mhm.
I will say to Loic and Cadval in slightly hushed tones, the fella made it clear we need to turn up something new, not just go over what's already been found. We need something new.
Agreed.
Well, we need something new if there is to be. I think it is entirely. We have to maintain the possibility that all our investigations are just going to reinforce their decision.
Yes, exactly. We must.
We are here to be objective, after all. Well,
Yes, our theories must suit the facts, not the facts the theories.
Okay. So a runner has been sent by.
Loic looks a tad more sanguine at that statement than Cadfell does, but
Oh, I have a horrible feeling I know what Hamus would be doing, and there would be dead people. And also, he'd steal whatever they came to steal. I just have
Well,
visions.
obviously.
Well,
Yes,
yes, I have visions.
This is a character and a relationship with the character that I have no prior knowledge of, so I'm just going to let you guys have that. And
He's Skelliger. He is
okay, that's
Skelliger.
all we need to know. That's all we need to know.
Honestly, the day is long.
Mhm.
Yes, yes,
Yes.
as honest as
Yeah.
a winter's day is long.
Mhm.
All right. So yes.
Oh, I
think-
thought you were going to say as cold and as cutting as a
No,
winter's
no,
day.
he is as honest as a Croydon midwinter's day is long.
Nice.
You know, that land of the midnight sun thing.
Yes.
Okay,
So,
So-
let us go and examine the dearly departed's remains.
okay, you want to tackle the body first?
That was
If the cave isn't open, or isn't
It's
available,
not
then we'll
as
do
yet.
that. Okay, then
Yeah.
the
That's out
body.
of season.
And it. This is the problem. You've got to
Yeah.
wait till September. Sorry, wait till May even. And yes, Enid will again nervously chattering. As far as I know, nobody's even spoken to the foreigners. They just found them, bandaged them, stuck them in a cell.
I can't say I'm
I
entirely
think we'd like
surprised,
to-
but
Sorry,
if
fish.
we
Sorry.
I think we'd like to
You'd like to?
speak to the foreigners, that is.
Okay.
yes, I think we should. I know
Okay.
Might be helpful if we look at the scene first, though.
Perhaps, but if it is not opened up to us by that time, then it might be best to make use of what time we have and speak to them first.
yes, if we can't see the scene before we talk to them, then needs must. So.
Okay.
Fair enough.
Starting with the body.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I will. Oh, we have an actual map, which I apologise for. This map was drawn in haste. I can tell you that map was drawn in haste because that map was drawn in. I have to draw a map. Oh, crap. Give you an idea.
I'm sure we'll love your map drop.
No, I don't love this map. But
Well, I will,
worryingly,
out
it's
of
very,
spite.
very close to the notebook that I drew it in, which is slightly freaky to me. Okay, I gives you
Yes,
I'm sorry, I've somehow managed to close it on mine. I don't know if that's the same for everyone else. Could I get it popped up again?
yeah.
If you go to images. It should be available as an image.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
once
okay.
it's been shared, it appears.
Yes,
Okay.
you can tell that Fantasy Grounds is not my usual.
Perfectly
PTT.
reasonable, mate. Perfectly reasonable. It gives you an idea of Mount Carbon as a whole. You are looking there. You can see the lozenge-shaped Great Hall.
I don't think it's the done thing to call dwarven settlements holes.
Technically, let's put it this
I
way:
mean,
no, nobody is having headspace issues at the moment. Let's put it that way. There.
Mm.
Huge. Okay. Enid leads you along some corridors and stands outside thick, strong wooden doors, apparently deep in thought. She pulls herself together and opens the way. Inside, the natural... You're suddenly really glad you haven't doffed your furs. Unless you have. And just didn't tell me.
No.
Inside, the natural cave is rimed with frost and an icy breeze plays around your ankles, blowing through tiny slots in the back wall. To the right are racks of hanging meats on hooks, baskets of fruit and vegetables, and netted wheels of cheese standing upright in rows. To the left is a heavy canvas curtain, behind which are 3 rows of marble shelves. In front of them stand hastily filled storage crates containing more produce. The former contents of the shelves have clearly been moved to accommodate the lifeless form covered in an embroidered blanket.
Are they storing the corpse with the food?
Yes.
In the same room, but away
Like
from it.
medieval
Yeah.
times.
Yeah. It's
Yeah,
basically...
your morgue is also your morgue is your icebox as well.
Yeah.
freezer's a
Essentially.
freezer.
Yeah. Yeah, basically you've got... outside, of course, it's snow, it's ice. You're at the top of a damn mountain. If you need an icebox, all you need is just an airflow from outside. And just sort it.
Be fair, a freshly dead body
Mhm.
is no more that died of a rockfall is no more germy than a human who's walked
Yeah.
through a cave.
Exactly.
Hmm.
Um,
But it has been a week. So he did need to be put on ice.
Okay, that is a little concerning.
Okay.
I am no doctor. So
I believe
My
Kevlar
God.
did say he was a doctor.
Yes.
yeah, maybe look
Bill
at the-
Guardian, I believe you're up.
I will point out, because this is not necessarily a standard method of using skills, and I will
Yeah.
remind people that this is how I do things. You're not necessarily tied to using skills just in the way or with the stat that is on
Yeah.
your character sheet. For example, use of weapons also encompasses a knowledge of the weapons and how they
Yeah.
are used, not just hitting things.
Okay.
Okay? So if you decide to, if you feel you have a skill that's applicable, ask.
I mean,
And
the
we
only
can
one that
work
I
out.
would necessarily have is like, can I have an awareness check to see if I spot anything about like unusual or such about the body from the outside?
Okay. Right.
And
Enid moves forward and pulls back the blanket, carefully folding it at the body's feet. He is freshly... His body shared his sister's colouring. His beard has been freshly plaited. The body's clearly been battered from cave-in and is covered with extensive bruising. Enid mutters, "I bathed him. It's the least I could do." She is not looking happy, but stands back and says, "Please."
Yep.
With respect,
Excuse me.
but please. Anything you can tell me.
I think upon hearing Hanavir saying and of Guardian you're up, you see Cadfael reach into his little satchel and pull out from the artwork that you see, and he has this tiny little magnifying glass, which he delicately takes out and brings close and holds up to examine the body closely without necessarily needing to touch it.
Okay. Well, that's good
My
start.
my general awareness is a 19
Okay.
to look at the body.
Yes. So
Um,
Right.
Orban asks, is this what he was wearing when he was found?
No, this is the tunic he'll be buried in. Well, this is the tunic he'll be cremated in.
Mm.
It's hard to bury anyone in stone. That's Enid is clearly a bit shaken, but oh, good lord,
bloody hell.
good god.
Yes, it's time to get serious, and then he does.
Bravo.
Okay,
Nice.
so yes, what he's wearing is a knee-length tunic. He's barefoot and basically he is bare-legged from the knee down, and his arms have short tunic, basically t-shirt length, but it's quite loose. So you can basically examine anything on the body that you want to, or that you think to. Okay.
Yep.
So, where are you looking? What are you looking at? Talk to me.
So, what Loic is, I mean, Loic has no real knowledge about first aid or the body or things like that, but he grew up in the mountains, so he grew up in a mining community.
Okay.
He will have seen victims of rockfall and mining accidents
Okay.
in the past. What I want to check is does my awareness thing allow me to tell if the patterns of the bruising and the visible injuries he has suffered, do they match with being like caught under a rockfall, or do they suggest, was he killed, beaten up, or such prior to the rockfall happening?
Okay.
Mm.
On his knees and hands, you can see small speckles and cuts. Also, and this is only because you rolled a 19, which was one over the threshold, although he is bruised all over, the bruises seem relatively light on the front, but you will have to move the body to examine further.
I do ask Enid, would it be okay to turn
Absolutely.
him?
Yes,
Thank you.
absolutely. Just be gentle with him.
Yes, yeah.
You can
Kind of
see, you can all see, that there is a significant trauma to the side of his head, under the hairline.
Mm-hmm. Cadfael will, with his magnifying glass, gently move the hairline back and look closer at the injury.
Okay.
Master Cadfael, would you say that this is in keeping with having been struck during a rockfall? The bruising seems very light to me.
With my 32 in the deduction, can I answer that in a particular
You'd
way?
need to examine the body completely. You're looking just top down at the moment.
Okay.
Plus, unless you come from a mining community or have had extensive experience with mines at the moment,
Yeah.
that's kind of outside your purview.
All right.
Is that head injury obvious to everyone, or just the two that are looking closely at the body?
It is obvious to everyone. The skull is dented.
Yes.
At the temple. Hang on, let me just.
Well, while they're looking the body over, I shall sidle up to Blake. Blake, did you see that head wound?
Aye.
You're a man of weapons. You've seen what injuries look like when people have been hit with different things. Any chance you could work out what that might have been that hit him, if it weren't a rock?
Yeah,
Can I have a
Nell
roll
would
to
like
see if
to
it
take a
looks like
crack at that too.
Okay, yeah. Would you like, in fact, to assist each other?
Sure.
So, decide which of one of you is actually making the skill roll, and then the other can make
Well, which skill roll? What skill are we going to be rolling?
melee and intelligence.
Right. You see, that gets tricky because I'm bloody good at melee, but I'm only average at intelligence.
What numbers you got?
And this is unfortunately going to have to be rolled manually because, of course, the character sheet can't cope. I can't do it.
Sorry for suggesting an awkward roll.
No, it's fine. This is
No,
what
I
I.
love
This
it.
is what I gave you. This is what I
back in
gave
If I
you.
make this roll, I'm rolling at +11.
That's still not bad.
Melee plus intelligence, I would be rolling a +12. So it's
So-
whether or not someone has more luck with the dice.
Well,
Oh
I
God,
have
yeah,
no
this is
luck.
fish we're talking
I
about.
was
You
going to
will
say
know what my
it's
luck with
fishy,
dice is like.
Monty.
I
It's
will either
fishy.
solve the whole case here and now with one roll, or get nothing. I'm
Okay.
quite happy just to assist on this.
Okay.
Blake is quite, other than when he's not actually hitting somebody, Blake is quite a passive fellow, so he's quite happy to take a back seat and just
Right.
add his opinion to somebody else's investigation.
Fish.
So how does that work?
Right. Roll the skill, and you're looking for over 12. If you get it, then
On my +11.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
so good chance even with my dice.
Yeah, that's
I hope
Okay.
you didn't jinx it.
so that will get you a +3 to your roll, Monty.
All right. Please help me choose die. We got a blue, a purple, a yellow, or a green.
Blue for bruising.
Blue for bruise.
Purple also for bruising, perhaps.
Yeah, good
Purple for
point.
bruising as well.
Yeah.
Which one was
Purple.
more like a bruise?
Yeah, purple.
Actually, it's
Purple.
weaker.
That's a
in-
bruise purple.
Yeah. Okay.
Purple. Hey.
I'm sorry, Drop, but that's a very nice purple.
It's a very pretty purple die.
Uh-huh.
That was a very terrible choice because that is a 1. So that's.
Oh
I'm sorry.
no. Okay.
No,
I apologise. It wasn't me rolling the dice, but it was still.
Monty.
I was involved in this die roll.
So what was your
Monty, did it
total?
explode twice?
No, but it's an 8 on the negatives.
So that's -7 plus 12. So you're on 5,
Three.
6, and 8. I make that.
I'm so sorry. I am. Yeah. I'm so sorry.
Uh,
Shitty guy that goes into jail.
At the moment, the braiding is in the way. Basically, you can't get a clear view of the actual wound. You'd need to really undo the braiding, pull the hair apart a bit to get a proper sight on it. You can, but I will allow Cadfael and Loic the next choice of action.
Yes.
My professional opinion on that wound is it's a mess.
And Nell will conclude that she is much more used to slicing and piercing type of weapons rather than blunt stuff. So.
Okay.
So we've established that the bruising is lighter on his front. Have we actually turned him over to look at his back yet?
That's your
Yeah, so
next
that-
thing.
All right.
Well, that's what we did because that's how we determined how we
Yeah,
noticed the head
okay.
wound. But now it's up to Cadfael, I guess, to see if you can look at his back. And,
The
Okay, so-
bruising on the back of the legs, back of the arms, is very, very severe.
Well, I'm not an expert on havens or mining, but the bruising is clearly much worse on the back, suggesting that he was face down when the cave-in occurred. So he may already have been struck down by something. Or he might have tripped, who knows. Is there anywhere where the bruising is even lighter than it is on the front? Is there anywhere where there's like no bruising, for example?
His forearms. By comparison, although the palms of his hands have
Yeah.
gravel wounds, his forearms are almost completely undamaged.
And notice here, very little bruising on his forearms. He did not attempt to protect himself when the rock fall occurred.
no, which suggests that he was probably laid out or unconscious prior to.
Yes. It is perhaps interesting that how he got that head wound on the front though, for it to be so serious. Perhaps we should look a little closer at that.
Nods.
Again, he turns to Ian. I am sorry, my lady. May I unbraid his hair a little?
Yes, I'll redo it.
Thank you.
Miss, if I may ask, while they're
Yes,
looking over you, was he found face up or face down?
I really don't know. I
Would.
he was,
Sorry.
I was brought
Who
here.
would?
I don't know. I would have to ask who found him. It'd be one of the workmen. But
What
I will see if I can find who it was.
Aye, please. From what I'm hearing, the things don't seem to be adding up. They've said
Okay.
there's no bruising on the back, but the injuries on the front of his head, and that don't seem right.
No, I'm sorry. She goes a slightly funny colour.
I'm sorry, miss.
As you're sort of rolling him over, rolling him back, and Kefal starts undoing his hair.
I was hoping that by my distracting her while they were doing that, she might not have seen so much, but clearly that wasn't quite enough of a distraction.
She's not having a fit of the vapours or anything, but she's not a happy camper, let's put it that way. As you are unbraiding the hair, and you can part it, we're talking sort of the Viking braids here.
Yeah.
The door opens, and a couple
Knew I should
of...
have stood guard.
Did anyone pull the curtain back that was concealing the body? Because...
I mean, we have to have pulled it back to be able to.
No, I mean back across.
Oh, well, I'm going to say since we didn't think to mention it earlier, I'm going to say no.
No real reason why we would have
Sensible.
done.
Okay. No,
Not
that's
until we're
fine.
finished.
So no, you can see indeed two dwarves come in, who walk in and sort of brought up with a
How do?
One is a slightly weaselly-looking young dwarf. The other appears to be a woman, as far as you can tell. Both of them are slightly dusty, and the slightly weaselly one goes, "I'm sorry, there's not supposed to be anybody in here." And he attempts the 100 meters back pedal towards the door. The other sent up for supplies. Sorry, just be a minute. And reaches out and grabs the nearest cheese wheel. Tucks it under their arm. And
They
heads
seem like they were
off.
making up an excuse for
If
why
no,
they should be there when they were actually talking
It
through their
does sound
backsides.
like it, doesn't it?
no one's supposed to be in here, were you here?
Sorry, I didn't catch that night.
Is it obvious they were lying through their teeth, or would you need us to make a roll to confirm?
They're certainly awkward. And they were, as soon as they stepped through the door, they were headed towards the food. When they noticed you and went, "Oh, what about that gaha?" It's entirely possible that they're talking bollocks. Also, they could be here stealing. Or they could be here for supplies. But apparently their supplies involve a cheese wheel.
Yeah, two of them to grab the nearest cheese wheel.
Yep.
Not so sure.
Nell, having stepped aside from the body once it was clear that she could not
Okay.
figure out much, is probably like standing a bit closer to the entrance, and she's like the dwarf who like grabs the cheese wheel. She will like fix with a stare and ask, "Well, if no one's supposed to be in here, well, what are you two doing here?"
Got sent up for service. We needed surveys. We can't all be arranging for the party. Some of us got to work.
And you conveniently sent to grab the one cheese wheel that was right there then.
Well, no, we were sent up with the list. We were supposed to be getting meat and cheese, And
Well, if you've got a list, then
Oh, God.
get what's on your list. Don't let us stop you.
oh, right, okay. The Weasley one's almost made it back to the door, but is sort of looking with a. And if he is the thief, he's the worst sneak thief you've ever seen in your life.
Actually, I'm gonna roll as a thief. I'm gonna roll to see if they're thieves. I just realised I could do that. Is that deduction or
cool
human
ability.
sense?
Deduction, I believe.
Like spots like.
Yeah.
It's only a 12.
That's enough that there is a degree of furtiveness, but you're not sure whether that's because they're nervous because there are people here, or whether they are not supposed to be here.
Whether they just snuck in here for a spliff.
It's got that whole behind the bike sheds feel. But as you're settling them, get what's on your list. The wheel is thrust unceremoniously at the Weasley one, and the other grabs a haunch of what you think is probably ham, but you're not sure, off a hook. It's the nearest one to the door, and they both scarper.
Did you? I don't suppose you knew who those two were, Lady Enid?
I haven't the faintest.
Yeah. Well, you might have to let the supervisor know that they were in here on a supply run later.
It seems very
In-
unofficial, but I don't know. Everything's
well,
up in the air.
Weren't meant to be here.
Yes.
Doesn't mean they're really doing anything serious, though, and probably nothing to do with what we're about. But no, they weren't meant to be here.
Yes.
Okay, so
She'll go back to the. She'll go back to looking at this.
okay, pulling the hair apart with a clearer view of the scalp. Either a healing hands, or a deduction, or again a melee plus intelligence.
We roll deduction.
Can
I'll-
help. Can be used by anyone who's involved.
I will try a deduction then.
Okay. They have different difficulties, so this is going to be fun.
Oh dear.
Well, that's
14.
pants.
Yeah.
My roll didn't register for some strange reason.
Oh,
I'll try it
okay.
again.
Yeah, Lloyd's deduction is not
Oh,
functioning well.
bloody
today.
hell.
Sorry about
Thank-
that. Yeah.
Thankfully, Cadfaels is.
Okay.
I mean, I'm good at being a doctor and investigator. That was the point of the character.
Yeah,
Yep.
true. I only have 1 point in deduction, and I'm relying on a 10 intelligence.
Okay. Is
Healing hand.
is anybody trying anything else, or is it just those two?
I can't think of anything else I'd want to suggest to anyone at the minute.
Okay.
Orban's generally keeping out the way of the dead body.
What do you think? It's going to rise up and bite you?
He's just not particularly comfortable around them.
Okay.
Also, he's got nothing to add here. He might have been able to go through the pockets if it was the outfit that this guy had been attacked in to work stuff out, but
Okay.
otherwise, he's not really a medical specialist.
Okay, that's fair enough. Right, so, Loic, you can see that there is quite a deep indent on the side of the head. She says, hang on a minute, and it's that side. Yeah. And there are limited other wounds to the scalp. Cadfael, this was almost certainly the fatal wound. There are some superficial cuts to the back of the head, and some bruising to the face, but this was a one blow to the temple, which approached with that roll. Yeah, that was a lateral blow. That was not vertical.
I don't believe that I don't believe that this dwarf was killed by the rockfall.
No.
Would you
based on-
agree,
I would.
Master Cadfael?
I would. Looking closer at this head wound, this is most likely the killing blow. It comes. You can see from the indentation. It's coming from a different direction. It's not coming from above. This blow
And if
came
he had
from,
been, and if the blow was what struck, if he was struck by a rock,
I mean,
from there would be more. There would be more bruising and wounding on the head. Let's be
Yes.
honest here.
yes, this is a targeted injury. So there's definitely we've definitely confirmed there's more to this than meets the eye. He was
Good, I
the bruising
suppose.
the bruising that occurred from the rockfall occurred after he was already. Forgive me, my lady, but after he had already been.
Brought down.
Yes. So now but can I determine what could have caused the blow? Can I determine what kind of weapon or what kind of implement?
Yes. Give me a deduction, or
Okay.
if you have melee weapons, you can have a go at the melee plus intelligence instead.
I don't, so it'll have to be deduction, I
Okay.
think.
Slightly harder roll then.
Oh no, I have small. Oh, this system splits out melee and small blades.
It does,
That's
yeah.
right. Yes. Yes,
Yeah.
you've got melee.
Melee is
swords,
specifically
and-
for clubby things and axes.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. 23.
Oh bloody hell! Okay, you
You're
can.
going to say that a lot, aren't you?
Yeah. Well, if you keep rolling 23
Oh,
at me,
special-
which is the third
specialised
23
characters,
you've rolled. I'm just looking at it. 23, 23,
Yeah.
23. I think Cadfael's broken.
Can't
got- he's-
walk away.
He's got himself into a loop. Yes. The wound actually vanishes under the hairline, but where it joins the temple and basically pulling apart where the sideburns would start, you can
Alright.
see a right angle, a very clear right angle with that roll.
See here?
So you're looking at you can't see the vertical part of the wound, if you see what I mean.
Yeah.
Because that
Yeah,
does
yeah.
go under the hair, so unless you were going to shave him, I don't
Yeah,
recommend
no.
that.
No.
However, from sort of following the wound back, you can tell it's about maybe 5 inches, but maybe 4 inches, and then a right angle.
Yes. Right angle here. I don't think any natural rock falling would have quite such a clear angle on it. Whatever dealt this blow was manufactured. Perhaps a hammer of some kind?
How did the ceremonial hammer look?
It's a hammer. I know it's being examined by an expert from the deeps at the moment. I can show you. I can take you to him.
Yes, I think we have learned all we can from poor Master Rendell here, he says, and goes to.
And you're thinking a hammer rather than a blade or a club or something like that.
A blade would leave a cut or a lesion of some kind, and a club wouldn't leave such a clean shape in the bruising.
I may have been watching CSI a bit when I wrote this. Just a
Maybe.
smidge.
But yeah, no. Cadfael will do his best to place the hair back carefully, not rebraid it because he hasn't got that skill, and then he'll put the blanket back over the body.
Okay, yep. And he will neaten up the blanket and
Oh, of course, yes,
So,
she's allowed to start.
yeah, I will come back and sort that out. Right, I am going to call a brief bio break. So I think this is an excellent time for everybody to essentially
Before we break,
sort yourselves out. Yep.
Before we break, can Blake just say, "Well, I don't think it's looking very good for your visitors, is it?"
No.
Well,
Right. So, where would you want to be going next?
Taking a
give,
break then.
We are. but it's which bit you go to next.
Oh, right, okay.
I'm guessing go and look at the hat. We'll go to the hammer because I dare say this hasn't been long enough for the cave site to be owned.
I have this sneaking suspicion in terms of game design that part of the dungeon will only unlock once we've seen the other 3 parts. We might as well just get them over with.
I'd like to
Yeah,
point
well,
out that there are certain conventions I was having to stick with.
Yeah,
Right.
of course. No skin off your nose. Here.
Yeah,
Okay.
I bet going to look at the hammer next.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's do that. We'll do that after the break.
Right. Back in the mo. Talk amongst yourselves, and any questions, feel free to post them in chat.
I'm gonna BRB and get a drink while.
I'm gonna get a drink
I
too.
too shall BRB.
Oh heck, I just realised I forgot my medicine! Because my alarm was off because I turned the phone off so I didn't hear it! Look at that.
The things we have to suffer for our art.
I'm back.
are
There's a game going on.
back in the room. Okay. And welcome back. Thank you very much. I hope everybody has abluted and taken any meds, had drinks as needed.
Loot it?
Abluted, yes.
Yes.
Gone and had a wash. I don't know.
Random washing in the middle of the
Random
session.
I don't
Washing in
know
the
what
middle of a
that
session.
means.
Gone to the bathroom. Gone to the bathroom.
Yes,
Watched some
washed your
smells.
hands after
Ah.
you've gone to the loo, that sort of thing. Honestly.
Oh.
Okay.
What if you didn't go to the loo? Do you still have to wash your hands?
Well, yes,
Yes.
obviously we're singing Happy Birthday twice. Oh, sorry, hang on, no, it's flashbacks to when I was writing the bloody thing. Okay. I do apologise for these so clear lockdown parallels which are in this.
God, yeah.
I
Can't imagine why that was on your mind at the time.
I
It's
can't
weird.
imagine, but rereading it, I was going, "Oh yes, that's the mood I was in." Right, okay. People not
It's a
taking
valid
lockdown
mood.
seriously, right? Okay, so which do you want to go for next, the hammer or the captives?
I think the
Oh,
hammer.
it was the hammer, wasn't it?
Yes, we
Okay.
want to go with that.
Right.
Off to see Mjolnir.
Yes. Off to Simeonia. No. Okay. Enid will lead you again. It's basically across the large central cavern and then out the far side into one of the curtained alcoves, through a door and down a set of corridors. Down a corridor where there are doors either side, and she knocks. There is a muttered "yes," and she opens and says, "I'm going to go back and see to Rendell. If you wait here when you're finished, I'll come back here, okay? If that's all right.
Yes, absolutely. We
Just
will do it tonight,
be
my lady.
polite.
Of course.
Just be polite."
Always.
Okay. You open the door to reveal a workbench with a selection of tools, both hanging on the wall and lying on the table, with a weapon on the desktop. And sitting behind it, you see a gnome who looks annoyed. He wears well-tailored grey clothing in shades ranging from light charcoal to deep shadow. He doesn't appear to be dressed for work, but he has a waxed leather wrap hanging from his belt. He's sitting on quite a high stool next to the desk. You can see in the corner a more reasonably arranged height stool, which you're guessing if a dwarf is working at this station, that's what they'd use. But here's a gnome, and gnomes are smaller.
I'm a gnome. Another gnome.
Yes. And who are you exactly?
Pardon the intrusion. We are the investigators.
You're investigating. What are you investigating exactly? Who are you?
Apologies. I am Loic Craden, and I introduced my companion. So,
Okay.
we are here at the behest of Enid. I forgot the surname.
Harkus.
Enid Harkus, investigating the incident surrounding the death of her brother.
Oh, the
And-
girl. Yes. Yes. Sad case, sad case, sad case. Yes. Oh, well, come in. Close the door. It's too noisy out there.
Thank you.
My name is Aloysius. He pronounces each syllable individually. Aloysius Graver. You don't know many gnomes, do you?
No, you are the first I have. Actually, no, he probably isn't the first I've encountered, but I won't have encountered many.
They're not very common.
Yeah.
They tend to live with dwarves. And that, of course, means that those in Markham, you don't tend to see much outside. He has a pedantic manner, is the best way to put it. So, if you're investigating on behalf of the girl, then presumably you're wanting to see the hammer?
That is correct.
I assume, since that's what I've been dragged up here to do. I mean, I came up here expecting a party. I'm expecting convivial company and lots of alcohol and lots of lovely things to eat and drink. And what am I doing? I'm sitting here in a cupboard. I'm sitting here in a poorly equipped cupboard with barely any of my tools, and I'm expected to give an assessment on some kind of artifact, which isn't.
As we were all here for the festivity, we would be very interested. The poor quality of your tools and surroundings notwithstanding.
No, my tools are fine. My tools are absolutely fine. I would like to make that absolutely crystal clear.
The tools that you have been provided with, however substandard, what you have managed to discern from this.
Well, since you're the only people who've even bothered to come and ascertain my findings, so you put me in here and don't you give me any beer.
I'm sorry, you said the artifact which isn't?
Oh, yes.
You mean that's not...
Oh, this? No, this is a forgery.
Ha
So where's the real one?
But how am I supposed to know? It's not here. Nobody gave it to me. This is a forgery. And I can absolutely be certain of this. The original is well, it's not of gnomish make, obviously. It's of dwarven make, because that would be foolish. But the original, she says, realizing that she has stuck that in the wrong sidebar, and this is something that I really should have known about. Sorry. Yes, the original, you see. And he holds up a warhammer, which to you looks old, slightly dirty, a little bit battered, functional. She says, suddenly having knocked the scenario to the wrong page. You see, the original, after it was retrieved from the dead man, this is not this dead man, this is the older dead man, the whole reason that there's a monument there in the first place. After it was retrieved from the dead man, you see, the dwarves, because they're terribly sentimental, awfully sentimental, you see, and what they did was they brought it down to us, the ones who can actually do nice work, nice detailed work. Don't get me wrong, and no offence, dwarves are fine at big work, but you want detail, you need to get in small. Understand? Thank you.
Absolutely.
And not like the big chunky folks. He says, pointing at Auburn, who is possibly the least big chunky dwarf you've ever seen in your life. Also, what is that?
Is he pointing at Petal?
He's pointing at Petal.
That's Petal.
That's a petal? The petal? It is petalish?
It's an aardvark.
Is it? Excellent. What's that? No, I don't care. I don't care.
I don't believe it is pertinent to the investigation at present. Should you wish to, I'm sure Auburn will be happy to talk to you more about Petal during the festivities. Should you be interested?
I shall look forward to it.
Huh.
Right.
You were saying people come to gnomes for the detailing.
Yes,
work.
absolutely. Yes, you see, the head was replaced because the head broke off in the fight, which resulted in the death of the original owner. So, of course, a replacement was made from solid gold. And the inlay on the side of the head was jet. We have records of that. And then also the haft It was badly burned by whatever acid it was that spewed over everything. And as a result, the haft of the hammer, it isn't actually wood. What it is it's a neat little shell that locks together, so it looks like there is a smooth wooden hammer. And he picks up the hammer on the desk and says, "Look," and he taps it. That's very nicely finished, but it's wood. That's just solid wood. That is. And this, he turns it over and starts scraping at the head. You see? It's plate. It's plate. Someone has plated this. It's lead underneath by the looks of it.
Have you told the elders about this?
Well, no, I'm waiting for them to come to me. I'm not going to go running around out there. It's dangerous if nothing else.
Yes,
Understandable. Do you have any other wonderful insights as to the hammer from your investigations?
Well, I can I can tell you its history if that helps. But
Well, as interesting as that would be, I feel we have to focus on the actual forgery that has passed before you. Would you care to hazard a guess as to who made this forgery?
probably a human.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, you see, if you look, and he turns again to show you the haft, and there are dwarven runes carved down it.
Oh no! Is this a Chinese tattoo situation? Oh no!
Yeah.
Oh.
It looks like dwarven script, but to anyone who can actually read dwarven,
I'm picturing just completely random uses of Futhark runes.
it's along the lines of, come get your curry at only 5 minutes from this theatre.
Mhm.
Yeah, we
That's
are very
indeed
much.
removed.
Yeah, we are definitely talking Chinese tattoo situation.
Right.
But
Okay.
it would look authentic from a distance.
Mm-hmm. Right. That, yes, that would discount dwarves, gnomes, and presumably most people who have any idea of Elder speech.
I mean, it's nice work, but I'm assuming that whoever made this didn't actually know what was supposed to be written down there, but knew something was supposed to be written down it.
Mm-hmm.
It's like they knew there was supposed to be black gems on the side, but they don't know that they're supposed to be jet, not glass.
Aha, and these are glass. Okay.
I think somebody was trying to mimic obsidian, but it looks more like tinted glass to me.
Would
I
it
love
be
this
possible
guy
for
so
us
much,
to-
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's brilliant.
Would it,
We
would it
all
be
love him.
possible
I want to adopt him.
for us to have a look at it? We suspect that this might have actually been used as an actual weapon. Would your findings support that at all before we look at it?
Actual weapon in what way?
As in to hit someone with it.
As in actually hitting someone? Oh no, this has never hit anybody in its life.
Aha.
No, I mean, look at it. He, again, twists it and thrusts it up under your nose. Look,
Yes.
look, it's pristine. Look at the angles.
Yes,
If this had impacted anything harder than, I don't know, your nose. Why do big folks have such small noses? I don't know. How do you smell anything?
With great difficulty, my good man.
It must be a terrible handicap for you.
Oh, well,
How do you see where you're going if you can't smell where you're going?
Oh, we
We
manage.
have ways.
Yes.
We manage. We get by. Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, but you need all that space. I don't
Yes.
know. Anyway, yes, if this had hit anything more solid than your nose, then that lead, that would have deformed. That would have led to dints, and that would have led to crush damage, and also certainly if this had hit it, I mean that's if the original had done, but even if if this had hit it, obviously it would have killed anybody on contact, but it would have peeled away the plating, and you can see I've had to do that myself with a knife. So
It's
this has never hit anything.
Um,
It's been hit.
so, in which case, would you say,
It's been hit by.
Guess half a cave.
Right, so it was underneath the rockfall as well, or had been caught up.
So
in the
I've been
rockfall.
told.
Okay.
So I've been told somebody was trying to
And your
steal it,
findings
but
are your findings are consistent with that.
oh yes, absolutely. It possibly was under somebody because it's not been damaged a lot. I mean, it's very nice work, for human work.
Now, Kafar,
yes.
would you care to have a look at it as well, just to see if there is anything else?
Oh, I can say for absolute certain that I would not be able to discern anything quite as useful as this good man has with his knowledge of the craft. My expertise does not lie in construction of weapons, but rather the construction of people. I believe I believe what this man has told us is everything we need to know.
Well, if there is no, if there are
would
no
Nell
reviews,
know anything about anyone who does specialize in forgery or specialize in like fake weapons?
Let me just have a quick check.
Or is there something I can roll for that?
Yeah, hang on a minute. Let me see.
I do. Could that be a crafting roll, maybe?
craft plus intelligence, maybe.
Give me no. Hang on a minute. Give me a deceit plus intelligence.
Deceit. That's
because it's gonna be a tricky one.
so it's a plus.
Could I give the roll as well, given that, like, in my as a merchant, I almost certainly say, ooh.
That's really bad or really good.
That's always a good sign.
Someone's just exploded.
That was a double explosion, so that's 27 just on the die, plus, what was it? What did I have?
Wow.
Plus 13. So that is a 40.
Cool. Nice, yeah, no, I rescind my question.
Fair enough.
Okay. You have... How much did you get?
40, I think.
Jesus, you needed 28.
Well, she's got that.
It was a Hail Mary situation because it requires a very specific... Okay. You're not certain, and it's not like someone signed their work. However, you have heard of somebody whose speciality has been in creating replicas because they've turned up occasionally at auctions. Tends to be replicas of historically significant weapons. Of the, who this and the other 15 are all the finger bones of Saint whatever. Think that level of thing, We've got six Excaliburs here.
Yeah, I was about to say, the hobbyist who's been asked to make...
Yeah.
the blacksmith has been asked by a hobbyist to make...
You've never had direct contact with him, but you have heard that there's a gentleman in Aldersburg who, if you bring him sketches, or even an original, can be persuaded to craft quite sterling, obviously display-only replicas that they then get auctioned off by their owners is entirely their business.
Of course.
But yes, you've heard there's a gentleman in Aldersburg who may well have the relevant skill set, which is, of course, to the east of the mountains. It's relatively close.
You cut out there, Drat.
Oh, sorry.
To the
East of the mountains you're in
Right.
at the moment. You've come from the west.
okay. So it wouldn't. It's not. Aldersburg isn't far from.
No, it's about 3 days.
Okay.
So yes, as I said, you've had no direct contact with him yourself, but you know his work coincidentally turns up, and if some people just forget to mention where they got it.
I'm assuming it's expensive to get stuff from him.
Not as expensive as it is getting the originals. There have been a couple of swords that have turned up that their authenticity as relics have been questioned only by mages, and only because they know what it was supposed to be able to do. That sort of thing. Apparently he's very good.
And Enid is still with us, right?
Enid isn't. Enid has gone.
she's-
She will be back when you're ready to leave, but she's not in the room with you.
Yeah, she went to go and attend
Right.
to her.
Probably to replat her brother's hair.
Yep.
Well then,
I think I know where this could have been made. If anyone has had any dealings with Aldersburg recently, that's probably where it's from. I don't know if the craftsman himself is responsible for other than just making it, but that is a lead, if nothing else.
Let me. Sorry, I've given up on poor Hadav's accent.
That's all right.
Let me get this straight and see if I can follow and possibly extrapolate some thought here.
Mm-hmm.
This is entirely in character. So, someone has had a duplicate of this hammer made. That someone would either need to get the original there to make a copy, or more likely, give sketches.
sketches or a description.
Someone
given-
from here would need to have made the sketches, and they would need access to out there to get the sketches to the crafter.
Mm-hmm.
So in terms of that side of it, we'd be looking at a local who frequently has reason to go outside.
or has reason to send messengers. So,
Indeed.
I think we can rule out it being the original, or that it was particularly detailed sketches, given that the runes are not accurate.
It wasn't
Agreed.
wasn't this covered to steal the original?
Possibly,
I suspect, that's my suspicion, that they've sent out to get a replacement made just to buy enough time to get the original out. Because while there's something there, no one's going to pay close attention to what it is.
And then the
So if someone caught them in the act, that person would have to be dealt with.
Oh,
and it would also mean that if the replica could be retrieved, then it's like the item has not been stolen after all, and the replica can go back on display in its stead.
And we now know this is a replica.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
so on top of discovering the truth behind the murder, we must also see if we can find the true hammer in this instance.
Well, it should still be here somewhere in Malcolm.
Well, we may not be needed to find the actual hammer,
Maybe.
but I dare say if we can, it will definitely be a bonus.
If we can find the hammer,
Yes.
If we can
then
find the hammer, then that's
we'll
proof.
also have the murderer.
it
Well,
might
let's
might
see.
also
In theory.
be that the two people arrested weren't the only ones. There might have been
There's
someone
got
else
to be
who took
someone
away with the
local
hammer.
involved. Got to be.
There has to be a dwarf involved.
I wasn't going to say dwarf, but just someone local. Because don't forget, there are gnomes that live here as well.
Yes. Yes, and
No, that's
to which Carafile diplomatically, raises a hand towards Aloysius. Says,
Mm-hmm.
yes, Not trying to suggest anything on your part, my good man. You have been
good.
exceptionally. You have
I'm
been
very glad.
exceptionally helpful.
I'm very
Yes.
glad, because I only just came up.
Exactly.
How
Would Gnome have gotten the runes wrong though?
how many other gnomes do you know of in Mount Carbon? If any, like how many would you say there are?
Well, that's very personal. Well, there's there's the Gravers,
An
obviously.
estimate.
There's the Treaces. There's about 15 of
clans.
them. There's
So a number of
and
clans then
her
reside here.
wife, and then you've got his brothers. So yeah, he starts trying to itemize. At a guess, just randomly. Obviously, this isn't accurate. I think you're probably looking in that community in the deeps. You're probably looking at no more than 200 or 300.
Okay.
Excellent.
But I wouldn't. I would actually have to check, obviously.
No,
but
no,
I couldn't
that's
do that
fine.
until I go home.
No,
An
you-
estimate is fine.
Yes.
So yes,
I dislike being inaccurate.
I stand corrected. I say to Keppel and Blake. But that is very interesting. Okay. I think we do need to speak to the imprisoned folk now.
Agreed.
Yes. Thank you for your time.
Yes.
Thank you for your time and your expertise. It has been most enlightening.
Excellent. Well, if people want my expertise, they really ought to come and ask me for it. It's no point putting me in a room and expecting me to solve problems for them, and then just not coming and asking for it afterwards. I know they're busy.
Might I make a suggestion to you, Aloysius?
Yes.
Keep the fake hammer somewhere secure.
I was going to.
And excellent. I wouldn't necessarily say too much, anything in fact, to anyone, because we don't know who from the inside has been involved in this.
No, wonderful, marvellous. That's exactly what I need. Intrigue when the mountain's full. Fantastic. Great. Wonderful.
The last thing any of us need is whoever did this coming to you, because you've got the only evidence against them.
Oh, don't be ridiculous. I wouldn't be in any kind of danger. And besides, if I was, then, I'd just skin them.
Yes.
That's good to hear.
Yes. I've read gnomes.
I just wanted to be sure.
Yeah, don't mess with gnomes. They're fucking terrifying.
I like him.
Mhm.
Gnomes, mate, are super
Yes.
speeded, basically. They're super speeded psychos. They're ridiculously fast, ridiculously strong, and extremely tough.
Yes. No.
They are the cybered of this setting.
Hmm.
Yep.
But yes. No.
All the same, I just wanted you to be cognizant of the possibility of reprisal.
Oh, yes, I quite understand. Well, since nobody's come to talk to me, I'm assuming that nobody knows I'm even doing this, so I don't imagine anyone but you really cares. Well, that and that girl, of course. I do hope that
No one else cares
find...
because they've blamed someone else.
No, yes, it's easy to blame anyone you found who doesn't live here. I mean, obviously. Yeah,
Thank you.
you run along. I'm busy, and since nobody's bringing me any ale, I'm going to have to go forage for myself.
We will see if we can't have someone bring you something to.
Yes, or bring you some ourselves.
Yes, something plummy. Plum brandy would be ideal as a little
We will-
appetizer.
We'll see what we can do for you, good sir.
Excellent. Good. See that you do.
Yes.
Bye bye.
And-
Go away.
Yes,
Close the
yes,
door.
Yes. Yes.
I love this guy.
Spewed out by a gnome.
Oh no, I fear this guy and
I love this guy.
Knobwobble would get on famously or murder each other. One of the two.
I think Knobwobble would turn up as a coat. No, I like Aloysius. Aloysius, I had a lot of fun writing, I will say.
You can tell. Aloysius is fun.
Yeah. Given the only gnome I think we've encountered is Barnabas, who's the mad Welsh alchemist in Thronebreaker.
Mm-hmm.
Loved him.
Oh yes.
The only boom you'll be seeing is of the economic variety. He's brilliant.
Yeah,
I need to play that at some point.
it's
Yes.
such a good game.
Replay it.
Oh yes, and a lot of Thronebreaker was my biggest inspiration for the Witcher campaign I ran back in the day.
Oh.
So yes, it's worth having a look at. If nothing else.
I love the fact that you can just take so many different story paths, even though it's a fairly linear plot. You can reject or accept various people and things like that. So everybody else I've talked to has accepted the Monster Slayer, the wannabe Witcher, and I just hated him as soon as he turned up. It was just
You
no,
mean,
you're a bastard.
Ike?
Yeah.
Fuck him.
Yeah, that's pretty much the position I was in. Everyone else is going, oh no, he's wonderful, and he's incredibly good, and he's so good in fights, and you can skip so many fights with him in it. And I'm like, oh no, I told him to sod off, because he was an arsehole. But yes, that's a sign of good writing, of course.
Yes.
Strong emotional responses to the characters. But Barnabas, I absolutely adored. I mean, he was loopy as hell, but definitely imbibed his own alchemy way too much.
Yes. No.
Self-testing.
Yes.
Yeah, that's the one benefit of being a mad alchemist.
Yep.
Yes. At the risk of derailing, when we have limited time, the one story beat I had in the campaign around when they ended up in Lyria and Rivia was that the town that Barnabas can slight spoilers.
No.
For Thronebreaker, but the town that Barnabas can help reinvigorate the economy of and turn into an industrial site. Basically, the story I'd written, because it was during the invasion of the South during the Third War. They turn up to find the town basically a smoking crater because Barnabas, seeing the Nilfgaardians approaching, had evacuated everyone, rigged the entire town with explosives, and just left it for the Nilfgaardians to find and blew up half their army.
I've seen High Plains
of
Drifter. I know how this works.
Yeah.
You paint it with red first.
Yes, and change it to hell.
Yeah.
That is a bleak film. But anyway, let's go and talk. Let's go and talk to a lizard and a beaver.
Pinky and the brain. Sorry. The lizard and the beaver.com. Right, so that one, and you're going to want that one. So let me just check. That is not what she looks like, but it's close enough. These are just the sample images of the Vran and the Werebub from the back of the book.
Yeah.
Because Werebubs, Vran, and indeed gnomes only appeared in this book.
Yes.
Okay. All of them are available as player characters to varying degrees of difficulty and GM negotiation.
Yes.
Right. Yes, Enid is waiting outside as you get hustled out.
Mm-hmm.
Weren't there runs in Witcher 2, I believe?
I believe there was a Vran in Witcher 2, but I don't think there were many.
I think it was like a side quiz that you could do.
Yeah, I think it was in the Roche path, because I took what's his face.
I believe that you can get it in either path because it's in Loch Marine, which is
Of course.
And the point was that the operator, he's meant to be a Vran, but he's basically wearing a full robe and a mask.
Oh
so
yes, of course
so
he is.
You can't tell if he's human or not.
Yeah.
But
It's around temple though, isn't it? That you go into.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
Okay.
Never mind. Sorry.
That's all right. No, it's a well reminded. I haven't played Witcher 2 in ages. I'm going to have to again, and this time I'm going to have to bite the bullet and take Roche's path. Enid leads you away from the Great Hall and down several flights of stairs, dodging runners who barge past with conscious ease. After some turns, she stops at a solid-looking wooden door with a barred window. She knocks and tells the guard beyond that you're here to see the prisoners, and you are granted admittance. In the cell ahead of you are two people unlike anyone you've met, apart from Blake, who's going, "Oh, yeah." A long-limbed, scaly humanoid lies on the bed with its head wreathed in bandages and some kind of herbal poultice by the smell. Tending to the lizard is a short woman, scarcely taller than Enid, covered entirely in snow-coloured fur and with delicate claws at the tips of her fingers. She wears leather trousers, knee boots, and an open leather jerkin under which you can see a bandage almost a foot wide around her belly, the centre stained a dark reddish brown. The furry woman gives you the once-over and says, "We've had breakfast. Must be gawking time." She seems inclined to continue, but the injured lizard puts one hand on her arm, and she stops, her jaw working furiously. So,
You cut out there a bit at the end. Could you just
Yeah,
repeat
that's the last word
sentence?
after you're working.
furiously. Basically, you can see the jaw muscles jumping.
I mean, that was not exactly our intention, but we were hoping to speak with you both, at least.
You're looking here at, basically, you've walked into a corridor, and on the left-hand side are a series of cells, 3 or 4, with wide iron bars, floor to ceiling, and obviously doors. And the far side is a wide and open window, giving a stunning view of the sheer mountainside. Down which it would not be possible to escape. So, you've got the Vran lying in the bed, and you've got the werebub largely sitting there, standing there, cross-armed, folded arms, and giving you the once-over.
Looking
Yes.
a little bit lost a little bit. It's like never really dealt with prisoners before, but well, we are here to talk to you about the incident which has led to your incarceration. I am
Are you now?
Loic. I am Loic, and my companions here have been brought in by Ed Harkus to as objective investigators in this matter.
Objective.
Well, supposedly objective at any rate.
I suppose it
Well,
is.
if you want us to just leave you here, we can do that.
Albans?
They'll kill you soon enough.
We, as investigators who have no irons in the fire, as it were, we would like to ask you some questions, and hopefully to come to some sort of conclusion that.
Well,
Well,
we're
come
not
to some sort of
talking
conclusion.
in front of him, she says, nodding at the guard. It's just he's not very nice.
Okay. And would it be possible for us to speak in private with these two?
She moves over and speaks quietly to the guard. And you get the distinct impression she's saying they can't go anywhere.
The guard will also see that we are armed,
Yeah.
and
Yeah. And he sighs, says, "Saves her bending my ear for a bit anyway." And heads outside with Enid and locks the door.
well, first things
Orban's
first.
gonna.
Oh,
Before that, Orban's gonna go to the injured lady and just say, "That looks bad." He's a doctor.
That's no, it's fine.
What?
It's fine. I'm looking after her.
May I know who we are? May I know who we are talking to, please?
The werebub lifts her chin. My name's Shaylee. This is my friend Anise.
Pleasure to make your acquaintance, both of you.
Hello.
Would you?
The cell, by the way, is clean,
Mhm.
and the cot has a decent looking blanket on it. We're not talking they have been thrown into a pit of squalor here. It's
Yeah. I guess the first thing to ask is, what is your recollection or understanding of the situation?
look. Can we trust you? Because I don't
hope
know.
so.
It's all been
Can
a
you?
lot, and
I would like to think that you can. However, given the circumstances, you obviously have no reason to trust us beyond anybody else you have met here. However, as I say, we are hoping to provide an objective viewpoint on this case.
Don't want
I'm a,
Did I-
I'm a merchant from Bremerfort.
merchant.
My companions here are of similar persuasion, and we have been through a number of he smiles adventures together of late.
Adventures, huh?
And
How about your
Yeah.
injuries?
How about our injuries? Are
Aye.
you bothered?
Aye.
I mean, once they throw us down the mountainside, as they've been promising to do,
well, hopefully it won't come to that, but
the lizard again reaches out, grabs her hand.
we do have healers among our number.
They, the
If you'll
offer was-
permit us.
Okay, look, no offence, but no. Because it's nothing personal. Yeah, merchant. Yeah.
Hey, I've only got two weapons. I've only got a crossbow and a rapier.
I was thinking of Blake's extensive
Yeah.
collection of
Yes.
weapons.
Okay, right. Yeah.
Blake carries his sample case with him.
I didn't say
Yes.
merchants. I said merchant.
in response
Yeah,
to,
yeah.
in,
But you
Yeah.
hand waved a bit over the others
Yes.
being of similar persuasion and forgetting
Oh,
about
that's true. Yeah.
going the large armored guy with many
No.
weapons.
no, it's Cadfael, upon hearing her basically saying, of course, doesn't want a healer involved. He says, no, absolutely, and we must be respectful of that. Patient consent is an absolute must. In
Oh,
my
it's
profession.
nothing to do with that. It's nothing to
Oh.
do with that at all. Don't be an idiot.
Oh, I apologize. Please educate me.
Well, look, you don't know how Vran are put together. They're put together strangely.
I don't need to.
Under the... Oh, you're one of them. Oh.
Aye.
Yeah. Look. I'll give her a human perception, I think, at this... Oh, for God's sake, yes, okay, fair enough. She sits down on the end of the cot. And Nanise struggles up to a sitting position. Has a bandage around her head. Look. It's no offence, but while we're recovering, I don't think they're going to execute us until, we're well enough to stand trial.
Understood.
That's a fair assessment.
Yes.
Aye.
And they obviously don't know a lot about Vran. But I do. And to be honest, Nanise just needs some rest. And to fix whatever sits under her head that isn't a skull. Me, I'm absolutely fine. This is minor. She points at her stomach. But it reminds people that I got hurt, and at this point she doubles over and goes, "Oh, and the pain." You see?
Understood.
I quite
Yes.
understand.
Yes. And frankly, any kind of delay is fine by me, because the faster we heal, or faster they know I heal, then the sooner we're likely to take a one-way trip down the mountainside. And I'm in no hurry for that to happen. So I'm going to wait till Nanise is better, and then we'll leave.
Well, perhaps if you can tell us what happened,
Yeah.
it might negate that short trip.
Or if you think they'll listen.
Well, hopefully
They
they
might
will.
do.
Hopefully they will listen to us.
Yeah, we'll listen to you more than those who
Then
grabbed
they
you.
will.
Nanise, again, sits up properly, leans against the back wall next to the window. Apologies for Shaylee. She is oversensitive. I am not. You are. You're oversensitive. You always have been. Look.
I feel we would be much the same in your position.
Well, yes. If you knew what our position was, if we knew what our position was. Look, it's too cold for me to think properly. But just talk to them. What's the worst that they could happen? They sentence us to death and throw us down the mountain? You're right. What do you want to know?
I guess start by telling us how you came to be in Mount Carbon and at the scene where you were found.
Well, you see, that's awkward.
Whatever you tell us.
Honesty is going to help.
Yes.
Okay.
Swallow the awkwardness. Let's be honest and flat with it, with everything.
Well, I don't want to cause anybody any kind of difficulty. You know, it's not the sort of thing you want to be doing. She gets poked in the ribs by Nanise. Yes, right. And yes, there is only one cot in this room. Leave you to draw your own conclusions.
Yeah. Oh yeah, no, I've already
I
drawn
already
them, don't
had.
you worry. I drawn them many months ago.
Okay, look, to be honest, we grew up not that far from here. It's a few dozen miles north. There's a village of werebubs, and well, Nanise's family, they got driven out of the lowlands and they came and lived with us. So we sort of grew up together. So the thing is, we sort of know this area, and well, the Long Bridge, it's not the only way in and out. You know, there are other ways. Sorry?
Are the dwarves aware of that?
I really couldn't say what the dwarves are or aren't aware of. I mean, I know they have patrols, but equally I know that they're very attached to their tunnels, and I would hate to disabuse them of the, you know, the security and the, you know, the isolation that they want to enjoy. That's obviously makes them happy. So yeah. The thing is, like I said, that's how we got in. There's if you're willing to do a bit of hiking and a bit of climbing and a bit of squeezing, you can get in. And
You could
then
tell us
sort
where
of-
this entry comes into.
I could, but I'm not going to, because I might want to use it again one day, and the last thing I'd like them to do is for them to brick it up.
Chances are someone already does. Someone else here already knows.
Possibly, but if they don't, they won't hear it from me.
So that's how you got in. What about
How you came to be there at the scene of
at the Cursetter's Cavern?
We barely got in there. We barely got in. That's what's really annoying. I mean, we had a big upfront investment in this job. It cost us a bleeding fortune.
Hey,
Job.
Okay.
Guessing
the
it was
job?
your job to put in the forgery.
Oh, you know about that then?
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, yes. There was, as I said, a certain upfront cost involved, but you know, we have a client to keep happy, and you know, the the purchase price would have sorted that out, no problems. You know,
Well,
you have to be
don't you-
aware.
Client's going to leave you to die, so you should
Yes,
probably tell us about them.
You're go- you're-
Perhaps not relevant.
You are almost certainly going to have to divulge the details of this job, I'm afraid. It may be your only way
I'm not
of...
naming any names, obviously. I'm not
Yes.
an idiot. Look,
As important as that may come across to us, that's not exactly relevant to our specific inquiry.
okay, look. Yes, we snuck in. We had the forgery. It was a very nice job, by the way.
Yes, we gathered.
We've seen it.
Oh, good.
Although the gnome that was assessing it was
Yeah, he said
Well,
critical.
He said it was good for a human's efforts, but again, neither here nor there. So
The lizard,
had-
You said it
the
was
lizard
good apart
woman,
from the bits that were bad.
the lizard woman hisses and says,
I'm-
"I told you." Lack of research.
Well, that is by the by. So you arrived in the cavern with the hammer.
at the entrance to the cavern.
Yes.
allegedly.
Well, yes, we got as far as the entrance.
Okay.
And, well, it was quite dark in there.
Okay.
Apart from, well, they have some lights. I mean, they're not complete savages, obviously. But the thing is, we barely got as far as the entrance when we saw somebody up at the other end, next to the monument. And I don't know who it was, but they were standing over something on the floor. Next thing I know, there's a huge bang, and, well, half the mountain fell on us.
This someone that was standing over something on the floor. What did they look like?
A dwarf.
Hair colour?
Yes. Didn't get a
Black,
good
grey.
look.
Was there also a dwarf?
Blonde? What?
I didn't get a good look.
Must have
Probably
been a
not.
flash of colour.
Probably not blonde. But that's just down to the light reflection, really. No, not blonde.
Would you? Did it?
Okay, what colour then if not blonde?
I mean,
Darker?
yes, we have to account for the lack of light, perhaps, in this situation.
Look, it's not my fault. They put weird coloured lights up, and they don't put enough up. And everything goes orange anyway. So
This person
the only
say
way I
anything?
could... didn't say anything. Seemed to be more fussed about who was on the floor.
I was about to say, the thing they were standing over, was it a body?
No, that was blonde. You could see it shining. That's how I know the one standing up wasn't.
Okay.
Excellent.
Then, yes, so we know that a dwarf was likely responsible for the murder of the young
Yes.
Master Harkus, then.
No, is that who died?
Yes, it is. I tell you this in confidence. It is.
It's not
the
like
late.
we're going to talk to anyone.
Of course, it is the deceased sister that has hired us to look into this. She suspected that there was more to this. There's more to this crime than was believed by the elders.
Oh, you mean she's not just randomly accusing foreigners? Okay.
No, that's the other dwarves.
Yes, it was. She is.
Sorry, she's not randomly accusing.
Foreigners.
So is she? Are you saying that she is the one who accused you, or?
No, everybody else is.
Ah, okay.
I mean, you get-
a general feeling.
No,
Okay.
apparently you get dug out from the same room that there's a dead body in, and everybody loses their minds over it. And you can't really say, "Hi, we were here to do a thieving," but unfortunately, before we could do a theft, somebody else did a theft.
and the murder.
Did you see whether or not the monument had the hammer at the time of your arrival, or was that something you had noticed?
I don't know. She turns to Nanise. Did you say? Want to say no? I don't think so, but there's a niche involved, and I really don't know for certain. I couldn't swear to it either way. I'm sorry. And then
No.
the roof fell on me, so...
Oh,
Okay.
thank you for that insight regardless. I understand.
About the roof falling in on you. As much detail as you can tell us. Just a bang? Was there any...
Was there a smell? Was there
No.
anything to suggest that-
Bash and a wallop.
I don't remember much. And the werebub speaks up. There was a bang and a crack, but I don't think there was magic. There was no
Right.
fire, there was no lightning, nothing like that. Just a bang, a crack, and then whoomph. I was closer to the exit, so I was jumping for it, but Nanise have gone further in than me.
Just out of character, I can't remember if the Witch universe has essentially like blasting powder or something.
Zeracanium powder, yes. Basically
that was the
gunpowder.
one. Of course, because you've got bombs. I don't know why
Yes.
that. I don't know why that went out of my head there.
Yeah, they do. It does
Okay, so
exist.
yes, sound likely that they were using Zeracanium powder or similar. Then.
Well,
So-
she did say no smell, no flash, no lightning.
Oh, okay. In that case, maybe I don't know. Maybe they used the hammer to hit a supporting beam or something. Anyway,
Something to find out in the cave.
yes.
Still wouldn't rule out magic.
That's something to find out next time on Hid Place.
Well,
Actually,
getting
not
there.
a million miles off.
Yeah.
No, I was like, yeah.
Okay. And is there anything else you can tell us?
Look, we wouldn't have done this if we didn't need the cash. It's not easy being an adventuring party of two, okay? You've got expenses to pay. But I can tell you this, we didn't kill that kid.
Okay.
That
We're
much,
thieves.
I believe you.
We're not murderers. We're not
And if you
killers.
could tell us who told you to do the hammer gig,
Yeah.
that would save your lives.
On the off chance that we get out of here, it would save our lives here, but it wouldn't. But it would kill us outside.
Why?
Sorry. Because
Honor amongst thieves.
because honor amongst thieves is not a thing, but
Exactly. There's
Sorry,
There's a certain-
Sorry, I didn't mean
yeah.
professionalism. That's the term I was actually.
Yeah.
looking
Here's the
for.
thing:
Yeah.
the only people as would know would be us.
look, three people can keep a secret if two of them are dead. Sorry. Besides, we
I'm
might want to
guessing you're
work for
not-
them again.
I'm guessing you're not going to say whether or not they came from inside the mountain or not.
Well, if they did, they were bloody funny looking dwarves.
Okay.
So,
Auburn,
this-
without
Yeah.
needing a roll, you are definitely getting, thief of these two.
oh yeah.
Very
He's
much.
what he's been working out over the past few minutes is whether or not this was a job where they were sent in, intended to be set up, so that someone else could do it, or whether it happened to be that two parties were attempting the same thing at the same time.
That's what I've been trying to work out.
Okay, that's an interesting theory.
Yes.
Yeah. That's one that you don't quite have enough information as yet,
No.
but it's
And I'm
certainly
kicking myself massively
why.
We have now unlocked the cave.
because I know what the solve investigation button is, and it was a spell that I was looking at last time we got XP to level up.
That said, because we're having the professionalism discussion with them,
Yeah.
do you believe? Would you believe that you might have been set up here?
Nanise lies back down with a "I'm really tired." And Shelley pats her arm and says, seems to be giving it some genuine thought. It's too complicated. It's too complicated for what we were sent to get. There's already a layer of complexity there during the replacement. I mean, it seems silly. I wouldn't, but what do I know? I'm just someone's rug in waiting.
Dwarf is wanting to make off with such an artifact would certainly want someone not to be in a dwarf to go down as the patsy for it.
Damn straight.
So it would make sense for someone here to reach out to someone out there to get someone like you in.
That
Which
would make
means-
sense, yeah.
Which means whoever it was has got you the gig. Knew you weren't coming back. They've done you over already.
That's not necessarily true.
No, not necessarily.
However,
This is
It'd be pretty
If we are
damn
going-
obvious.
if we are going down that line, then whoever hired them here would not have necessarily said anything to whoever they hired out there, but they were looking for patsies.
I think, again, focus on the facts and adapt
Yes.
the theories around those. We only know that these two events occurred simultaneously, that either, it is possibly a coincidence, possibly a setup, but we don't have any concrete evidence to suggest one or the other at this point. We must dig further, I think.
Master Caffel is correct. We definitely do not have all the pieces of the puzzle here. But if you would vouch that you do not believe that this was a setup, that at least goes some way.
It strikes me as insanely complicated. I mean, we were supposed to turn up, swap out the hammer. We've got
At least again.
well, yes. I mean, we've got the leather cover.
How long were you expecting this job to take?
Well, the swap should have been really quick. We've got the cover to hide the head, and then we were just gonna, spend a couple of days drinking, and leave with the rest of the party goers. That's why we're
That's
doing it
great.
now.
That makes
Nice,
sense.
nice busy time with lots of non-locals. Made
Yes.
sense.
Yes, indeed. And of course, take it from me from previous investigations. When it comes to committing crimes, the simplest, most straightforward method is usually the best. No need to overcomplicate.
Exactly. In
Right,
fact, sorry.
could I possibly use my scheming from the magician tree to try and get me a bonus to my persuasion roll for them to drop that name?
Have you got the write-up in front of you? Or can
I
you
do
give me a page
indeed.
reference?
Page 66.
66, okay.
Execute order 66.
Can I aim to disarm them
That's the
through
wrong
adorable aardvark
Can you aim
Possibly I'm
to...
looking at a different version
in
of
an
the book.
aid roll?
No,
I
it's
don't know what I'm
alright.
saying.
It's just me being an idiot. I managed to close the core rule book, and I was just looking on the GM screen, and it went, there's no page 66. And I went, there bloody is, So that is mage skills.
Gives a bonus to deceit, seduction, intimidate, or persuasion
Yeah.
against observed target.
Yeah.
The observation panel.
Bloody
So-
hell. Mage
So you have to
makes-
make a DC scheming roll at DC equal to target in times 3.
Wow. That's tricky.
It's not one I'm likely to pull off.
Make a roll,
Okay.
because I know the stats.
I'm not sure, to be honest. Rules as intended that you have studied them enough.
No, it's borderline. I'm not sure. Make the roll. Let's see how far you get.
Don't think I'm going to get very far because in times 3 is a long reach.
It's a big old hill to climb. Yeah.
Well, it's a big old bonus. I
Yeah.
mean, +3 isn't, is not to be sneezed at, but it's not massive. But the
No.
fact that it lasts for a number of days,
Yeah.
and it's on all your deceit, seduction, persuasion, and intimidation rolls for that during that period.
It's my
a
character sheet.
serious
That
bonus.
is. I got 2 there,
It also depends,
and
like, how much have you got in scheming?
well, I'm hoping their int is 5 because I rolled 15. Actually, even that wouldn't do it because I'd need to beat their
You
in
need
times
to
3. So,
exceed- you
oh
need to
no,
exceed
equal
it.
to DC. Oh, DC
Oh, yeah,
equal
sorry.
to. So yeah, the DC equal to. So I've got to beat the
You've
DC.
got to beat
haven't
the
I?
DC. Yeah.
So I'd be screwed even if they had an int of 5.
Yeah. They don't. Sorry.
No, it's fine. It was worth a shot.
Yeah.
First time I've tried to use that side of the major abilities.
You didn't miss by much. I will tell you that.
Dang it!
And then Shaylee looks at you with head cocked to one side and appears to be studying you. And I make no comments about whether or not they may have the the thief tree. Yes.
So, is there any other information that, however minor, that you may be able to add to this?
Not that I can think of. But I tell you this, I'm not letting them execute us. Either you sort out who did this, or we are over those green hills and far away. I'm only waiting until Nanise is good enough to travel. And then I'm out of here, or we're out of here.
They're only giving us a couple of days at most, which means they're looking to try you tomorrow, and then execute you the next day.
Oh, good.
You haven't got long.
Well,
Once again,
excellent.
do you need healing?
No, I don't. I think it might bounce.
She drops out again, I'm afraid.
Sorry, I think it might bounce, and it won't be long for her anyway. She'll be fine. More, I need a fire, says Nanise from the bed. It's too bloody cold. Next time, I do the research.
Well, does anyone else have any other questions?
I think we've learned everything that we reasonably can here.
We've tried to help you,
Thank you.
but we need you to look to help yourselves too.
Oh, I believe you me. I'll be helping myself. You go find who killed that kid. We are not murderers. Maybe we've killed in self-defense now and then, but we are not murderers.
Everyone's done that.
Absolutely. That's cute, by the way. Pointing at Petal.
Oh, this is Petal.
Of course it
He's
is.
not going to take her out of the bundle because it's cold and she's basically naked, but like she has like peach fuzz but not much more. But he's just going to sort of lean out in their direction and sort of like say hello sort of thing.
Uh-huh. Nanise looks up and says, "You brought lunch. How lovely."
Oh no!
And Shaylee just giggles.
Genuinely like the most offended expression you've ever seen in your life.
Shaylee reaches out and just with the very tip of her claw scratches Petal's nose. Yes, cute. Supposed to be furry though, surely.
She's growing it in.
Scaly.
Scaly. Huh.
Oh no, sorry, no, wrong. I'm thinking
No,
of
wrong
wrong
thing.
creature. They're not. They're not.
You good bart.
They're not armadillos. This
Yeah.
is an aardvark.
What?
Yes.
Yes.
No, I was getting
No.
armadillo and aardvark confused there for a moment.
We've all done it,
Okay.
mate. That's what you're going to
I
have
mean,
an
have we?
aardvark mutagen.
Have we?
Yes.
Well, I tell you
Right.
what, if you're done, you can send the waiter back in. It's probably time for lunch.
Hopefully, that is all we need. I dare say we will be back if anything changes.
Unless they've killed you by then.
Well, you're lovely. Very
No,
bright
thank-
sunshine.
They're looking
Thank
to
you.
kill you. It's
Yeah.
obvious.
Well, you go
We've
toggle
asked,
off.
we've asked you to help us clear your name, and you won't.
There's nothing else I can give you.
Yes,
I
there is.
don't know the name of the person who sent us. And I'm not going to give you their address. Honestly.
You can tell us what they look like.
No, I can't.
Out of
Why
it,
not?
I do.
That would
I
depend
genuinely
upon
don't-
having met them.
Yeah, that's not normally how it works in this line of business out of here.
That's in
Yes.
character.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's in character.
Yeah.
It's just sort of like a slightly
Yeah.
patronising, oh, he doesn't understand how this works.
My friend, I respect your tenacity with this line of inquiry, but I fear we will get nowhere, and we have other parts of this
As-
investigation to address.
Well, at least I'm not enough Guardian Mage. They'd have just ripped the information straight out your mind, painfully.
That would be great if, I had any.
You'd
If
have
I
still
knew
felt the pain.
anything, if I knew... Oh, great, good, thanks. Excellent, love mages. Shush.
That is uncalled
They're
for.
Guardian Mages.
No,
I'm not
no.
Guardian.
I've seen what mages do. I've seen what sorcerers do, and I've seen what sorcerers have done to Denise's family and some of my friends. Not keen. Not keen overall. Just saying. Easy on the fire with the fire.
Thank you for answering
I
our
don't even study
questions.
fire.
Oh, that's convenient then. That's helpful. Okay, you're one up in my estimation then. Okay, look, find out who killed that kid, and then we can all be away from here, and ideally get pissed on the way out. Okay?
That is what we are endeavouring to do. But thank you for answering our questions.
Thank you.
I think it's time we take our leave. And we'll knock on the door. Lurk goes forward and knocks on the door.
Okay. Yeah, the door opens, and the guard will head back in and just check that they're still in there, and you haven't tried to smuggle them out under a cloak or something. And as you look out, Shaylee is clutching her abdomen. And
Oh!
and Nanise is doing the full fainting couch.
I love them, Your Honor.
Oh,
Um,
oh, food, please! It might ease the pain.
Yes.
Quick question.
Yes, they're
Fishy,
suffering terribly.
Fishy, are you there?
Mm.
Okay. Did Blake mention anything about the gossip he overheard?
No.
Okay.
Fair enough.
Then go to. I keep forgetting her name.
Enid.
Why am I having trouble with names today?
I don't know.
Enid. I think we've got all we are able to from them. We really do need to see the scene of the incident.
I don't think we need to find the killer. I mean, we do, obviously for Enid, but I don't think we need to find the killer to get them off.
It would help.
Yes, I think.
I don't know that it actually makes a lot of difference. Thing is, see, they came in to steal the hammer, fair enough. Even if we don't deny that, they're being executed for the murder, not for the theft.
The charges against
And-
them were threefold.
Right? And there's no way that they did it, because if they did, they'd have had the hammer.
Yeah.
The fact
So
that
somebody
they
else has got
tried-
the hammer. Whoever's got the hammer's got to be the one who did it. And that's all. That's as much as it should take.
Free them, absolutely, but at the same time, I think part of our business here is to identify the killer. To wrap it all up in one go would be the most expedient.
Yeah.
The fact that they tried to steal the hammer, that they were going to do it, might be enough
We can
to
definitely
send them down a mountain.
we can definitely argue against two of the charges that they currently face: the theft and the probable murder. The desecration is going to be a harder one without investigating at least the scene of the crime.
Well, I think that's difficult without actually knowing what they mean by desecration.
Well,
Because it's a
desecration of the
vague
cavern.
charge.
Yes.
I can tell you that Enid can explain to you the desecration
Oh,
because
yeah.
she's there.
Mhm.
And she will do so at the top of next session.
Hooray!
Because although I know what it is,
Yes.
I'd rather not finish on a whacking great bit of exposition.
Exposition.
That's fair.
Okay, so I apologise for this running to 3 sessions. I should have realised. My apologies.
You should have realised that we talk. We
Yeah,
talk
it's
too
us.
like.
I don't know why you're apologising. You know what we're like.
Yeah.
Let's be
Every
realistic.
time. It's
We
always
apologise
3,
for
that's
this
your
running
number.
to 4 sessions.
Yeah.
If this runs to
Can
4
we
sessions,
make it go to 4?
No.
Can we make it go to 4?
no,
This can't go to 4
No.
because I would not be here for the 4th session.
no,
Oh, no.
this is not going to 4. I promise you, this isn't and ain't going to 4. Right. So, I hope you're enjoying it. I hope the audience is enjoying it.
Yeah, I'm sorry I've been quite quiet. I haven't really known what to say on the investigative parts because
No, I'm terribly sorry.
it's okay. It's just my character is a dumb baby. A dumb, socially awkward young man who's
Well,
older
maybe-
than probably everyone else in the party. Well, because he's a dwarf.
I suspect you may have more to say when we get to the scene. I might apply your thiefly knowledge.
Thiefly knowledge.
How is this
Thiefly.
heist going to be?
I was really hoping I'd get to examine that hammer and just be able to roll and just go, yeah, that's a fake. I was really hoping I could do that, but then no one's already got to it.
Yeah, sorry.
Just thief skill, just tap, tap. Lick. Yeah, it's a fake.
Tap, tap, lick. Yes, okay. Well, there's a T-shirt waiting to happen.
Tap, tap,
That's
lick.
the whole don't write your scenario dependent with the plot dependent upon a skill that none of the players might have.
Yeah.
Routine.
Yeah, this is the thing. It's I try and write for common sense when I'm designing scenarios, and I try not to write for the players that I've got, or for the characters I've got, if that makes sense. Because if I write exclusively for the players that I've got, it's as luck and the script would have it.
I mean, that's fine. That's fine when you are writing only for your game. It's not that. It's not the approach you want to take when you are writing for a book.
To be honest, even when you're writing for your game, writing something that is dependent on a specific player character ability is a guarantee that that player won't turn up that week.
Yep.
Or the character will die before that crucial
The
point.
Character will die, yeah.
Or they'll have decided to split the party and send the character off somewhere else, or the player will
Or
forget that
the
they've
day
got that
before
skill.
you're running it.
Or the player
day before you're
decided,
running
like,
it, the player
literally
contacts
2
you to
sessions
say-
ago, they wanted to try a new character.
Yeah,
So I've talking
that's the
over their
one.
fish, but I've done that one.
Yes. So, it just made sense to do things like there is a master craftsman is one of the attendees. So they just snagged him, handed it over and said, look, can you fix this? Can you just make sure it's
Yeah.
okay?
Yeah.
And then nobody got back to him because they assumed that that's what he was doing, was just repairing it.
That he was just repairing. They didn't actually ask him any questions, so they didn't go back for any answers.
No.
Questions were not high on these people's
No.
priorities. They thought they already had all the answers. They they came to a conclusion and didn't bother asking the questions that would lead to it.
Yes.
Yep.
All the better. All the better. All the better for a story involving player characters to turn up there.
Yep. Yep. So,
Yeah.
yes. So that puts us to the final session.
Yes.
Will be
You've said that before.
The final
this-
session will be
this
the
has
5th of
to be.
June. This has to be
The
because I am
final
not having you
session.
live streaming from a wedding.
Yes.
Do it! Do it!
No.
I'm not gonna be around for 5th of June. I'm gonna be at my best
Oh,
friend's
no.
birthday.
Ah.
Actually, if it's. Yeah,
Huh?
3 weeks from now.
Yeah.
Just checking.
Yeah.
I'm still.
Yeah,
22nd, 29th, 5th.
All right, 5th of June.
Um,
Excellent.
we may have to negotiate that then because unfortunately, I think somebody's going to be missing. Because if we bounce it, then Chrono won't be there. If we do it on the 5th, you won't be there.
Yeah,
I'm going to be
no
down
point
somebody.
pushing it through to July is then not really feasible because it's like we break the tempo.
Yeah,
And-
I'd really rather not have a huge gap. If that's okay.
It's fine by me.
I'm really sorry. But promise not to get Nell killed. I'm almost certain that there's no... Okay, there's a limited capacity to get Nell killed.
Nell can go off and protect the hammer with Aloysius and get some crafting tips.
Actually, yeah. The guy has teaching as a skill. Just saying. Which means he can actually teach crafting. If you're nice to him. You just feed him
Yeah, we have
alcohol.
tried to be nice to him.
Yeah, feed him beer.
Specifically, plum beer.
Yeah, something plummy.
Brandy.
Right,
Yes.
so looking then at the 5th of June. So, thank you very much indeed, guys. Yes, getting the group together to play always a role made with disadvantage. Oh dear God, yes. Yes, that is the single most challenging part of being a GM. It's not writing,
is.
it's not running, it's getting everybody in the same place at the same time.
It's herding cats.
Yes. Okay, so thank you very much. Tomorrow evening I will be on my channel streaming, and I will be streaming X4. Again, this time with actual HOTAS control and added commands so that I don't end up in a wall again. Chrono, are you streaming this week?
I will be. I will be back to my regular schedule of Wednesday evening at 6:30 p.m. BST and Saturday morning at 8 a.m. I am not sure yet what I am playing,
Okay.
but it will either be something light like Hades or such, or I might start my next long play. And I've got two things in mind for that: either Disco Elysium or Immortals. Phoenix Immortals Rising,
Oh,
both of which have been on the long list for a while,
yeah.
but I will make a decision on the week. Stay tuned to the Hint Discord for more info.
Yeah, okay. Knight, I take it you're drumming this week.
That is the plan, yes. All things being equal, I will be back behind the drum kit on both Tuesday and Thursday this week.
Cool. Peyton, have you got anything uploading to your YouTube at the moment? Have I managed to deafen myself? Okay.
We can hear you okay, Drut.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, I can hear you. It's just there's no response.
There's no response, no. Okay.
I think Peyton may
So,
have lost audio or
Oh,
something.
sorry.
That's all right.
Repeat what you said.
have you got anything going up on your YouTube at the moment?
Unfortunately, I do not. May I be so presumptuous as to plug someone else, a
You
friend's channel?
Can indeed.
I would like to plug. I'll type it in the chat for everyone. Look out for the channel Closed Game.
Uh-huh.
Who is a good friend of mine. She's doing streams about 3 or 4 times a week. Currently doing the Dragon Age trilogy.
Oh, nice.
Starting with Origins, working their way through 2, and then Inquisition.
Cool.
And
Oh,
yes,
nice.
so she could use a few more views, and she's very good at what she does. She's fantastic to chat to. Yeah, I can highly recommend.
Cool. Okay. I'm going to skip over Fish because I know you're not streaming at the moment. Spud, how are you
Hello.
dipping your toe into the streaming world?
been doing that for a while now, mate. We've been
Yeah, I
streaming for
know.
over
I
a
was
year.
thinking that.
Yes.
When are you?
Segue, Tal.
Yes.
What? Oh.
Promote away, dear.
Oh, hello. Hopefully we'll be back to streaming on Tuesday at Balance Velocity. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hopefully we'll be back to that. There's been a bit of a break on both YouTube and streaming
Yeah.
because I had the lurgy.
Yes, you had the plague. You like
I
that's an
had
excuse.
the plague. Like that's an excuse. On my birthday? I have never been so offended. In the past 2 years, I have had 3 birthdays
Yes.
occurring whilst plague is around, and it had to happen on one of them. Really, there's so much of the time. It's like, no, you gotta towards the job study, you gotta do coursework, you got a birthday. Fuck you. You got a holiday and surgery both coming up within the next couple of months. Fuck you. You don't need to sleep.
Victimized by
bitter.
COVID. Yes,
I'm a little bitter.
I'm getting that. Just a gnat's tad. Yes. Okay. Monty.
Sorry, now I'm mentally imagining a gnat's Taj. And I'm trying to work out if that looks like a dragonfly's one, which is weird. And I'm going down a spiral. I'm going down a spiral. You've got to cut me off.
I will meet
Boundless _ velocity on Twitch.
Yeah, we've got
Boundless
that.
space velocity on YouTube.
Okay. Monty,
We
are you
play
doing
things.
any streaming these days?
No, I'm not doing any streaming. I am being too busy running around pretending to be a Viking on my weekends, apparently.
There are worse ways to spend weekends.
Excellent.
Sounds cool.
Lots. Okay, thank you very much indeed. Thank you guys for playing. You have made it an absolute pleasure. And
thank you.
Thank you for running.
and I look forward to the next session, even if I have to drag you kicking and screaming to a conclusion. So, good night. Thank you for watching, and we will see you next week. Bye bye.
Take care.